But football's become soft like our country has become soft.
And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
I'm going to drink a lot of Budweiser tonight, Tracy, and I promise you that.
Hello? You play to win the game.
They're like, Pat, how'd you punt so well today? I'm like, good question.
Did you realize that you were a champion?
Welcome back to another Laces Out, at Laces Out on Instagram and Twitter. Joined, as always, I'm Gerald Thornton with AJ Hawk. I think the only guy in the Stooliverse that has a Super Bowl ring, right? Unless like Feidelberg has one I don't know about or something, but absolutely the best hair game and the Stool. And you went through hell to get to this podcast, AJ. Is that correct? You had a whole fucking planes, trains, and automobiles thing?
Yeah, not exactly hell, but yeah, anyone knows the old travel woes. Trying to get back from Seattle, had to rent a car in Detroit and drive back through some serious rain, but I made it. I'm here, so good to be with you guys. And Pat kind of has a ring, right? If you played in the Super Bowl your rookie year, doesn't that count for something?
I got 4 rings in college, plus the Senior Bowl. It's 5 rings in college.
What rings in college did you get?
Yeah.
Fiesta Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Car
You don't
Care
get
Bowl.
rings for that.
Okay. Yeah, winning 2 BCS Bowls, you don't get rings for that. Okay, AJ, I don't know if you ever won one. You probably won a national championship. Jesus Christ, God damn it. Anyways, I got an AFC championship ring. That's tough to wear though. That's like the old finalist flag that we waved at the Lucas Oil. So no, AJ's the only one.
Pat, you got a ring for coming in second in the AFC championship game?
No, the one we won. We won the AFC championship
right.
my rookie year whenever we lost. We chose to lose the last 2 games. We didn't want to go for the perfect season. We chose to lose. Put in Curtis Painter. He got murdered, and then we lost to the Saints in the Super Bowl. And a lot of people get blamed for that Super Bowl, but not me, Jerry. I'm pretty excited about that.
Well, you apparently not the team player that we thought you were.
Well, I mean, I didn't even know.
You punted well, and that's good enough for you?
No, I didn't even really punt that well. I'm not the one that gets blamed for our loss. There's a lot of people that do get blamed. And my name.
What happened in that game? Who gets blamed?
Hank Baskett for an onside kick, second half.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, that one.
Peyton and Reggie also for the pick 6 on who did what. There's a lot of things that really get thrown around a lot, and I'm just like, well, I didn't even know how to punt then, and I was in there punting to Reggie Bush, so I'm happy I'm not fucking getting blamed for anything. Super Bowl had to be the coolest thing on earth, though, AJ. Is that awesome?
Yeah, I've told you on here, and the first thing I thought of right when we won was, boy, this would be absolutely brutal to come all the way here and lose.
And it was. Yeah. It was brutal.
Now, Pat, was it as devastating to lose, even though it wasn't your fault or whatever? I mean, you hear people that just say it feels like death.
So my rookie year, I didn't even get it, I don't think. I went there my rookie year, and we were undefeated until we chose to lose. And then we went to the Super Bowl, and everything just looked great. I'm like, bro, we'll be back next year. Let's fucking go. Not a big deal. And then 2 years later, we were almost completely defeated. I mean, we went from going from undefeated to almost completely defeated. And I don't even think I respected it enough that we got there. But all the vets were like, this is just terrible. Like, Peyton disappeared for like a month. He just went to another island. Like, the vets it was really tough because as I got older, I'm like, man, I can't believe I got to experience that fucking run we went on and make it to the Super Bowl to begin with, because there's so many players that don't. So it crushed a lot of people. But for me, I got into my first party a week later because I was in the Super Bowl before then. So I was pretty excited about that. And he was just in the Super Bowl last week. Here he is, the punter. I saw everybody just turn their heads the other way, but I didn't give a fuck. I was with my college friends just hammered drunk in some nightclub just living.
Wait, was this in Vegas?
No, it was in New York.
Okay.
It was in New York, and it was me and my 4 friends, and I met Danielle of Real Housewives in New Jersey. She was a big-time VIP at the same party I was at, and we're on a red carpet. We were hammered drunk. My friend puked all over her VIP section. We had a great time, and that was our first red carpet. It was a big day for us, big moment.
AJ, do you ever wear your ring? Like, I mean, I know you don't want to obscure that tattoo you have of the half half
It doesn't
seagull,
fit on that finger,
half-
Jared.
half
That's why I got the
tiger.
tattoo. It would never fit over that knuckle.
What is
It'd
it? A
have to go on the right.
liger? What is your ring of? It's a
It's just something really cool that no one's ever heard of.
okay.
No, I don't. I've never worn my ring. Some guys do. I know. I've known guys that have worn the ring so much that diamonds have fallen off and they get all scratched up and look terrible. But no, I've never actually worn it. It's in a safe here, and every once in a while my kids ask to see it and they look at it. But that's about it. I don't know, man. I'd feel really weird wearing that out, like if I wore it somewhere.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like wearing your wedding tuxedo on some level. You know what I mean? Like,
What, you
it
mean
had
big and boxy and fits terrible because I got married a long time ago?
yeah, it's impractical. It has a time and its place, and
When guys do wear them, actually, is like I've gotten texts from people that'll tell me, like, if you're doing like a TV thing in studio for a sports show, that's like a kind of an appropriate time, I guess, to wear a ring. And a lot of times they'll ask me if I go do a studio show, like, "Oh, are you wearing your ring?" I was like, "No."
I should wear
absolutely.
all of my rings that are literally mean nothing. Like all of my, I don't really. I love the fact that rings are given out and people earn them, and it's a big deal. It's a trophy. But the people that wear them, I think, are just absolutely hysterical. Just for future reference, on TV, in real life, it's a great angle, though, Jerry. It can get you into any meeting. If you have a Super Bowl ring on, you can get into any meeting. So I don't want to hate on it that much. But I'm just like, man, it'd be tough for me to wear. But I don't have a Super Bowl ring, so I have no fucking idea. I would just assume that I would not. But boy, if I ever get on TV, I'm wearing every ring I have just because that little tip AJ just gave, and I'm gonna be banging that thing off like Frank Underwood without the goddamn child shit he's into, but the knock thing. I'm gonna do that the whole time. Thank you for that.
Wear it on your right, and then whatever. If you have a stick mic, hold your stick mic in the hand with like 5 rings,
and then maybe switch it over. Even maybe switch the ring, like hold the microphone with like my chest, switch the rings over, and then hold it with my left hand. Yeah,
right.
that's
and
a move.
Some people will mock you and think that you're just like living in the past or whatever. I get that every time I carry my 10th grade bowling trophy around.
Yeah, that's an interesting dilemma.
Right. But you've just got to learn to say, you know what, forget the haters. Be you.
Were you a good bowler?
No. Massachusetts, we do candlepin, which you guys don't even know what it is. The ball is a little bit bigger than a softball.
Oh, yeah. It's like duck pin.
Right, and you leave the dead wood around, and you can use it in stuff. Like, yeah, I never even rolled regular balls, like regular bowling with the 3 holes, until Portnoy and I were in the Boston Sports Media League, and I found I took to that pretty well. I had an innate ability for that, but we didn't win, so screw it. Who cares? It's one of those sports that guys like me do because you can drink the entire time you're doing it. I'd windsurf if there was a cup holder on the mast.
What?
You're throwing the word sport around pretty loosely.
With
bowling, I should say.
Absolutely. Golf with a cart, boxing, and maybe cornhole. The sports of kings. Anything you can do while you're smoking and drinking. Those are my sports now. Anything else is just a torn ACL waiting to happen.
Jerry, what are your hold on, before you get to B block, Jerry, let me ask you a quick question. What are your buddies like? I wonder, like, I know you post pictures of your buddies, like these golf trips and all this. Like, I assume they're all living in the real world, like 9 to 5, like sales or accountants and doing real jobs. Like, what do they think of you? Are you living the dream? Are they all sitting back every night telling their wife, like, man, Jerry's got it made?
Yeah. That is pretty much it. I go to bars and I meet guys who are, I'm going to Syracuse to study sports journalism, whatever. You're doing what I want to do. And they ask me advice and I go, I have no idea. I don't know how I got here. I got a business degree. Don't ask me. I saw an ad for a site that was looking for sports writers called Barstool Sports. I sent the guy who ran it, named Portnoy, a couple of articles I'd written, and he said, "You're hired. It doesn't pay." And whatever, 12 years later, now this is my job.
That's awesome.
Good for you.
I know. Imagine if I actually worked at it or had some talent, whatever. But yeah, no, everybody thinks it's easy. But you know what? Hey, every day I've got to sit at my desk and blog.
You have that unique, like, Matt Damon ability, though, to where you're super smart. You have a crazy vocab that you use. You throw all these references out from the 60s and 70s. And then when you write, like it's tough. Pat went through his blog that he posted a couple weeks ago. Like that's not, you make it look easy, but it's absolutely not.
I crashed a site.
You crashed a site that I've written 10,000 blogs for. You wrote one. And you basically, like, the nuclear plant had to, like, override, had to throw all the kill switches and stuff.
A standing ovation from the headquarters whenever my post got posted, because I gave them a heads up that I'm writing a blog. And they saw it go up. They did a standing ovation. Less than 4 minutes later, I get a text telling me I broke the site because it's too much bandwidth. Too many illegal videos, Pat. I'm like, you know what? Let me pay that back for you because holiday cash, you need it, and I know where to get it. My bookie is the place to score serious cash on your sports predictions. Believe it or not, the holidays are just around the corner. Can you feel it, boys? Huh? The holidays right around the corner, fellas.
Oh, positively. So Halloween's in the rear view.
Mm-hmm.
Thanksgiving is like just off the end of the front bumper.
It's on deck.
I'm starting to think Christmas.
Yep. It's in the hole. Christmas is in the hole with the baseball reference there. Thanksgiving is on deck. I watched The Grinch the other night. I felt terrible, but it's so good. It's such a good movie, but I felt terrible to the Thanksgiving people, I understand Jesus' birthday is a big deal, but Thanksgiving too, huh? Let's talk about a time when America was happy together. Let's breaking bread, corn, and Pikachu. You know what I'm talking about. But believe it or not, the holidays are just around the corner. And while that means plenty of parties, gifts, and spending, it also means there's plenty of football, basketball, and even hockey games you can score big on every single day. Man up and play like the pros on game day. You can play the money line, side, or total. MyBookie is your hookup for all your betting needs and offers super fast payouts when you win. Where you bet is just as important as who you're betting on. And if you want to make money betting the games, you got to go to mybookie.ag. MYBOOKIE.ag. They're the only site I'd recommend. I trust them, but you don't have to take my word for it. Go and check them out yourself. They have odds on every matchup and mobile site that makes wagering on your smartphone a breeze.
Doing Foley work, Pat, as they call it.
Who?
Foley. Isn't that what it's called, Jerry, when you can do all the sounds and stuff yourself?
First time I've heard the expression, but I'm not an industry insider like yourself.
I think it's called Foley work. I don't
Name
know.
drop.
Yeah, you are like...
Not a name. Not a person.
You're like the guy from Michael Winslow from Police Academy.
I saw him do stand-up at Dayton, Ohio. He was good.
And when he's done making the noises, does he have like jokes? Does he have an actual act?
No, I think his act is noises.
Do you remember the guy that used to read a book and then like for every punctuation mark he'd make a sound? Like the period was like boop. And then the exclamation point was boop. And then like everything, like a comma was he read a book and it was like the most hilarious thing on earth. I was like a 12-year-old. It's like the smorgasbord of, I think his name was like Smorgasborga. Smorgasborga? Is that his name? Smorgasborga. That's a real thing. You're going to look that up.
Sounds like a PowerPoint presentation I put together.
It sounds like a clown that you hire for a kid's party.
Join now and MyBookie will match your deposit with up to a 50% bonus. Use promo code LACES, LACES, to activate the offer. Visit mybookie.ag today. That's MYBOOKIE.ag using promo code LACES to get a 50% bonus. You play, you win, you get paid. Boop.
Outstanding.
Nailed it.
All right, Pat and AJ. This is one man's list of the things that I think were the best topics of the weekend. No particular order, but Fight Club in the NFL, it was nasty. We've got some teams that were contenders starting to come back to earth. Other contenders that are done. Dunzo, gone for the year. And the best team in football maybe just got better. The fights today were insane, and there was some crap games in the 1 o'clocks made good by just nasty bad blood. My favorite of the day, Mike Evans, a total hit piece on Marshawn Lattimore for reasons I can't even fathom. Because what even started that? It was Winston just
Jameis
poking him in the back of his head,
like pointing at him, and then poked like the back of his head almost, and Lattimore just kind of pushed him away. He didn't really do anything, and Evans just came from 60 yards out and just blasted him from behind.
And it was an RKO out of nowhere. It was an awesome little back check. And the fact that he didn't get suspended or ejected is so hilarious in the NFL. That's just so funny to me that they rolled with it. And then next week they'll have to slam down some big suspension. Then it's more drama, blah, blah, blah. This will turn into its own talking piece. Mike Evans will have to apologize. The coach will have to apologize. Everything will go hunky-dory. But that was an incredible cheap shot by old Mike Evans.
Is it just this mentality with the officials that they just say, you know what, the hell with it? Let's not do anything that's going to affect the game and let the league office sort it out? Because, right, there was a debate last week, a legit debate about Kiko Alonso. Was it a cheap shot? Was it not? Was he trying to aim high and whatever? There was no ambiguity on this one. It was a goddamn kill shot.
But it's a different. I think people feel they're not split on it because guys like when you come to the defense of your quarterback, and that's what he was doing. He felt like your quarterback was being whatever. Lattimore was trying to show him up or push him. So anybody loves that. Like you love when an O lineman comes and just kills a dude if you hit your quarterback late or whatever. Even it's worth the penalty a lot of times. This one was maybe crossed the line.
So I'm assuming Mike. Oh boy, I'm assuming Mike Evans turns late, only sees Lattimore pushing Jameis. So now he thinks, okay, if somebody pushes the quarterback, there's going to be more people that are going to jump in. I'm going to go do this because it is 100% okay to protect your quarterback. It's like a very known thing in every team. If you want to go protect the $100 million person, go. You can do it anytime you want. It is accepted, basically. Mike Evans thought he was doing that. He had no clue that Jameis Winston, the suck on a W motivational speaker, started that whole thing by poking old buddy in the back of the head out of nowhere.
Right, and protecting his quarterback though from what? Well,
he got pushed.
I don't think he even pushed Winston. I think he was using. First of all, I'm a big advocate of use your words. Right, I think all of us are in agreement with that. Like, please, you just can't get physical. It's a gentleman's game, but Lattimore's not allowed to exchange words with Winston, who was the first guy to make contact.
I think he pushed him. I think Lattimore pushed him, and I'm assuming Mike Evans.
It wasn't a bad push, but yeah, he kind of got his arm off of him and just kind of nudged him away one-handed.
Mike Evans fell victim to not seeing what Jameis did to poking his head. He only saw the push back. Jameis just had a rough day. I mean, Jameis had a rough day today, and he's going to tell Mike Evans that he started it. Mike Evans is going to probably get suspended for it. But you got to remember, Jameis started his day with this soundbite right here.
I want everybody to look at me. I'm going to pass it to corner after I say one thing. Let's go. That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight? How many eat a W tonight?
What, cuz? How many want to do what?
Did he say eat a W? What's eat one?
So he's holding his fingers up in a West Side formation. The middle finger over ring finger, and he is putting his whole hand into his mouth, acting like he's eating the West Side sign, saying he wants to eat who wants to eat a W? Like, James, what are you saying? Like, we talked a couple of weeks ago about how those pregame motivational speeches are the most hilarious things of the week because it's always an exciting time to see who's going to get in there to steal the spotlight, steal the camera, and what are they going to say at that point when guys are just trying to get back in the locker room to pee or fix their tape before coming back out? What are they saying that's going to make me punt a ball better or a guy catch a ball better or somebody block better or tackle? What is that one person going to say? He thought of last night eating a W was how he was going to get everybody fired up at that time. He thought it was going to be a home run, and boy, the internet is fucking murdering him for it. Then he gets hurt in the game. And then he starts a fight. I mean, he just had a rough. Jameis Winston, I mean, he took an L yesterday. It's going to be hard to bounce back. I'll be excited to see if he does.
He's going to eat that L. You're going to eat it.
It was gross. It was weird watching that. It really was. I saw the headline. I click on the video and I just thought the whole time, oh no, where are you going with this? Like, what's the big payoff? Like, where's the conclusion? And I never saw it. And then there's a great screen grab of I think Deshaun Jackson in the background with his helmet off, like looking like almost confused, like what is happening here?
What
Like,
the fuck is this dude doing?
yeah, and they all were kind of like that. If you saw, they cut the clip as soon as, like, right as Jameis was still going, like a guy came in to break them all down. All right, let's go. Like jumped in the huddle, probably like, all right, let's cut our losses here, man. Let's just get out.
I think the Buccaneers, I am saying this right now, the Buccaneers need a guy on their team that's like me, that was like me, right? I am a guy that is not affiliated with the offense or the defense. I am strictly a third-party candidate who, whenever people would fight in practice, I would talk about it in the locker room. I'd be like, "Oh, okay, Dwayne got a good swing on," and I'll call out the other person. I'll like bring it to light, right? Like I would 1,000%. Let's settle this right now. Like you two fought. It's definitely still awkward, but we should definitely make fun of this and move forward. I would do that in the locker room 100% of the time. It was only when I got older and confident. But like tomorrow in that locker room, I am hoping that the Buccaneers have somebody in there that like in front of everybody is like, Hey, Jameis, like, what was going on with the eatin thing? Like, what were we doing there? What was the, like, I hope somebody in there has enough cojones to be like, bro, like, you made us all look bad. Like, we all had to be like, yeah, we want to eat W's. We didn't know what the fuck you were talking about. Like, somebody has to do that tomorrow. That's something that has to happen for the growth of Jameis if he wants it.
Okay, but no lie, watching Hard Knocks, I got the feeling that they buy into his stuff. But maybe that was just the narrative of it.
It's
maybe
probably
that
how
was
they
just
edited it.
Yeah, maybe that's just the narration of it, and maybe guys like are walking, going into the bathroom after his speech, just going, "What the f?"
Hold on, though. Let's not act like he might have just missed one here. He might be good on a regular basis. I didn't watch all of Hard Knocks, but boy, this seemed like quite a miss to me. This seemed like somebody who was very much attempting to do something in a moment where he felt like he had to do something, and it just didn't work out. So I'm assuming maybe it was just a miss. Maybe he's a very motivational person. Maybe he is loved in that locker room. But somebody definitely should let him know that, the eating of your fingers, cuz, not a good play. The internet hates it. We didn't understand it, and everybody seems to be fucking confused. So if we can just, maybe not do that next time, that'd be great.
Yeah. And if you're going to do that, at least follow it up with something better than losing 30-10. And by the way, Marshawn Lattimore, just to interject for a second now, he's a beast. Like, I know it's only been 8 games or whatever his career has been. He is right now in the conversation for one of the best corners in the league, and he's headed towards the best. Like, I will watch a Saints game just to watch him on every play. His numbers matching up against good receivers are off the charts good. He's not the the greatest tackler in the world, but goddamn,
need to be. None of the great corners are the best tacklers.
Right. No, I can concede that. He put it this way: he's given up fewer yards in man coverage than he has gotten in interception returns. Like going into this game, he gave up like 48 yards on the season, and he's had 51 yards. He hasn't given up a touchdown, but he scored a touchdown.
He's +3 and +6.
Yeah, bad. You talk about punters being offensive weapons. That guy is a weapon, and they and he's transformed that defense. And Mike Evans picked a bad guy to fight.
Hey, AJ. So back when Darrelle Revis was like really Revis Island, and LaRon Landry made a Pro Bowl one of those years, and then we paid him $30-some million, and then he showed up and said that he wanted to be a safety outside linebacker hybrid because he was like 255, 260 pounds, LaRon Landry, of just straight muscle. Like, holy fuck, what are you? So he just shows up, but we paid him, and for us, he didn't work out well. It didn't work out well with us at all. And I was wondering how he made the Pro Bowl. Does a corner help out? If you have a lockdown corner, that helps the defense. The other 10 guys just basically can do whatever the fuck they want, right? I mean, that helps out everybody, right?
It's huge. If you have a guy that you can put on like their stud receiver, you can basically just lock him up on that side, and the rest of the other 10 guys, it really frees up the D coordinator to call things that put you in position to make plays, because you don't have to lean a bunch of coverage, put a safety over top of him. If you can trust that this guy's going to be somewhat of a lockdown guy, it opens up your whole defense. It's huge.
Now, if that guy is not a tackler, like Revis wasn't. I mean, his last couple of years with the Jets, he was holding on to blockers.
They're not going to throw
rather
you. That's
check.
the thing, though. If you're in a lockdown corner, you don't have to tackle because they're not going to throw the ball.
You're only going to get tried a few times a year, and you have to show up at those moments, and then they'll continue not to show up.
If you're a corner, if you're a cover 2 corner, which you've probably heard people say, then you have to be a good tackler because you're going to jam at the line, sink like 10, 12 yards, and then you're going to play your zone. You're not going to be running with guys all the way down the field, and you have to come up and make tackles if you're running a Tampa 2 scheme the majority of the time, which there's not a whole lot of teams doing it right now. Chicago was one of the best doing it back when they were rolling with Urlacher and Briggs.
You know who's a good physical corner? At least he was today. Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, that was a good fight too. Let's not. We were hyping up that Mike Evans fight, but I think that AJ Green, because he took 2 swings at the helmet, like directly at the helmet. I don't know what he was trying to do. Like he saw the helmet and directly attempted to punch it. And then I think he missed on purpose the second time. Went with a rear naked choke twice.
2 rear nakeds. 2 rear nakeds.
2 rear naked chokes and then 2 misses of punches. I very much enjoy that type of shit. Then they both threw their helmets. I like that type of. I enjoy, and I know it's not. The NFL probably doesn't love it when like players are just brawling with each other, especially 2 superstars, AJ Green and Jalen Ramsey. But god damn it, I enjoyed that a lot. I thought it was good. I didn't enjoy him almost breaking his fucking hand, but god damn, I like that a lot.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna do that, you got to do it like Andre Johnson did to
Cortland Finnegan.
Cortland Finnegan, right? Take his helmet off. And then start landing haymakers.
Well, no, it's open hand. You guys know Boss Rutan? He used to fight in Pancrase where you couldn't punch to the face with a closed fist. So it's open hand, palm strikes. You got to open hand when you're punching a helmet.
We are going to throw the chair. Is that have you ever seen Boss Rutan? I don't know if this is in the A block or the B block, but have you ever seen Boss Rutan, his self-defense video? Is this
bar fighting? Yeah, his guide to
oh
bar fighting.
my god! I want
to kick to the groin. Yeah, he's amazing.
We gotta bring that back. That was incredible. That was at the beginning of the internet. That was big at the beginning of the internet. I think it would do well now. It'd be like
Boss is the man,
dude. That was incredible. Is this B block? A block?
What are we in, Jared? 8.5?
8.2.
I think we're in A2.
A2.
Or E1. Eat one. We're gonna eat a win. We're gonna eat the W.
Jerry, you want to let the listeners in on what we're talking about?
What's an A block, a B block?
Yeah, well, we've had some suggestions from up high, from the suits, but a little more structure.
Up high. Who said he was up high though? Like that's the interesting thing. Like I don't understand how the up high thing just happens.
We keep adding layers of management to Barstool. We're a corporation now. It's not the Wild West like it used to be.
So why did they reach out to Jerry and not myself and Pat?
Yeah, wow. Jerry, how do you feel about that? Like AJ just put you on a spot there about your new management team here to take over our lives.
We hired an executive producer of podcasts. We got a blast email. I responded and said, welcome aboard. Great. Happy to talk to you. Whatever I can do. And he had a couple of just a little structure, a little.
So he gave
like
you.
I said, I like the flow of this. I like the way we do things. But if you want to put a little skeletal structure on there, a little organization, I can deal with that too. And I said,
Jerry didn't like the show, AJ. Jerry didn't like the show, AJ. Jerry did not like the show, so he reached out to an adult named Mikey for help. And then we get emails telling us that we got to make sure we stay in our block, AJ. Like, I get real high for this show. There ain't no block in my brain, bro. I'm going from, I'm all over, block me in. Block me in.
You got to stop your microaggressions, bro. There's no way that I said anything negative about this show. This is the highlight of my week. Jerry, watching the Patriots win are what I live for on my weekends. So, like I said, you got any advice? I'm coachable. I'm all ears.
So this was a tough weekend for you, huh? With the Patriots on a bye, right?
And now he's got a whole new block schedule he's got to set up.
Right. Yeah, so now I've been playing with blocks. Do what you got to do.
This is going to be like a terrestrial radio show before we know it.
Oh, I can't wait. We might throw to commercials. Like we might actually go to commercials and it'll be Jerry and Mikey in like a back room that are like, you are now entering the B block. We will be talking about.
Yeah. Let's do some of those fake calls where they act like they were calling some guy and telling him his wife's cheating on him. Those are real.
You know what? That fucking killed me whenever I found out those were fake, by the way. I was always like, man, they got him again. You know, like they got him again. Yeah.
We've got one on local radio where they will call somebody at your request and say, hey, you've won a dozen roses. Who should we send them to? Like a wife will say, all right, set up my husband on this because I think he's cheating on me. And then they'll get the husband on the phone while the wife is listening and say, who do you want us to send the roses to? And then the guy will name some.
Those are real, too. Those calls are real.
And I thought that was complete BS. I called total shenanigans on that. I met the girl who works on that show, and she swore to me it's legit. I don't know.
No, it's not. They do that all over. It's not just a Boston thing, Jerry. That's like the local zoo radio thing. There's like there's companies that do this they hire them out and they give them all these dumb ideas.
Yeah, she's probably contracally obligated to act like it's real.
I just love the fact that you dropped in the middle of there instead of the word shit, shenanigans. Like I very much enjoyed that. Like that gave me a real good little ha-ha there. In the middle.
Hey, Pat, I've got talent, all right? I don't need to work blue. Okay, I can stay at PG-13.
Yeah, you're like Cosby. You don't need to work blue.
I mean, you and your boy Mikey are trying to change us in.
You live blue. You don't need to work it on stage.
Hey, you and your boy Mikey are trying to change us into an AM FM show anyway. So, man, let's go completely clean. Hey, there's no shenanigans out there on that football pitch.
The Monday Morning Zoo. Okay, we're gonna go around the league now. All right, we're gonna call it Jerry from the blocks.
I think it should be Jerry and Mikey. Jerry and Mikey blocking, just blocking. Jerry and Mikey blocking.
Flat out, I said, look, if you got something, I'm all ears. AJ and Pat are busy with their things. This is the podcast that I do. If you want me to run point, that's fine. I'll hear what you have to say, and we'll figure this out as we go.
We like it. Let's get to B.
Listen, as great as the show is, and I say that without fear of contradiction, it is great. Can always get better, right?
Of course.
I'm shooting for 19-0. I'm shooting for 18 holes in one.
I like that a lot.
How did Casey Kasem put it? Reach for the stars.
I think he died.
If you don't,
Casey Kasem died.
And even if you don't,
his nurse
reach them, you'll still be among the heavens.
Shoot for the moon. If you miss, you land among the stars. And Casey Kasem, they kidnapped him, didn't they? Towards the end there, right?
Yeah,
and by the way,
his seventh wife, was trying to hold all the money.
And by the way, he's dead wrong, because if you're short of the moon, there are no stars. Like the moon is much, much closer, thank God. Because if it wasn't, we'd all be dead.
Bro.
If there were stars closer to us than the moon,
what's it
we
called?
would just die in an inferno.
Zeitgeist? Have you ever seen Zeitgeist?
Yeah.
Bro, mind blower. This ain't in any of the fucking blocks that we're supposed to be in. But boy, this Zeitgeist show. I'll talk about it on my show, Pat McAfee Show, Tuesday, Thursday, Fridays. There are no blocks. There are a lot of interviews, and boy, we have a great time.
I got to go on Jerry. I got to go on Pat's show on Friday.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, you guys are just like, you know what? We're like the three friends where like two of them will just like think nothing of getting together and not calling the third guy.
Jerry, it was about football. It was a conversation going into the weekend about AJ Hawk's football. So I apologize that you didn't. And also our technology lags. I mean, this show, we had 5 other people in here. There's no way we would have been able to do 14 microphones. And I just went with AJ because he answered the phone first. And also in the phone book. And also in the phone book first. So
don't give it a second thought. I'm a man without feelings. Yep. Just completely emotionless. Just go ahead, hang out with one another.
But you have blocks, though.
I've got blocks.
No emotions, a lot of blocks.
Fucking cell blocks, man. And I'm the baddest mofo on the cell blocks.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, where were we at? We were at okay. Teams that are starting to come back to earth. AJ, your boys, Atlanta. Like you.
What's happening?
What's happening is they've lost 4 out of 5. They're losing to Carolina.
1 catch away, though, from a completely different game.
Yeah.
That Julio Jones catch. Julio Jones is one of the best athletes to ever step foot on a football field. I can't believe he dropped that. What just happened, AJ?
Can you hear that?
Hear what?
You got me? Am I back?
Huh?
You haven't gone anywhere, AJ.
My bad. This started like some video started popping up from NFL's site.
Porn.
Some Geico garbage.
Porn.
Well, no, so I think first off with Atlanta, great segue here. I don't know, man. I think they're gonna be fine. They're gonna turn it on towards the end of the season, but I hate the whole Super Bowl hangover talk. Like that's not in their brain every single day. I don't know if it has like some lingering effect, but you're right. Like if Julio catches that, it's a different game, and we're not talking about it anymore. But they'll be fine. They have tons and tons of talent. Their coaches are great. I just don't know why they're not putting it together early this year. It's weird. They're 4-4. That's crazy to think.
Right. But against that Carolina team, it shouldn't come down to one catch because they're objectively bad. They're
you know what? I've been down there. I've been in Carolina on a Monday night. Oh boy. Oh, that was from the heart. Block that out. Get that in the B. That's the B block. That was a burp.
There it is. Yeah.
That was a belch from the B block. A burp and a belch from the B block.
I think you just coughed up an organ. Like, seriously, put that thing in a Ziploc bag and take it to the hospital right now and have them identify it.
Well, it's definitely going to be show signs positive for liver damage. But like the Carolina Stadium, which is like the Bank of America field, I believe, or something like that. I don't know. But when I was down there, Cam, it was a few years ago back when Cam was hot, when that was the year that they were big. When he gets going down there and that whole stadium gets behind him and he starts doing that Superman shit and then they play the Superman song and then he throws the ball into the crowd and then it turns into like a fucking show that he is orchestrating with that entire fucking stadium. And I don't think that's what it was today, but I can understand how people can lose to the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. Cam was just a different animal down there. That guy is a fucking avatar who is just so athletic. If he would stop dressing so poorly and just playing so much, I think he has the chance to be such a superstar. It's just, I don't know what the fuck it is. I have no clue what it is, AJ.
He's by far maybe the most physically gifted quarterback ever to step into the NFL.
Ever. He's a D-end. He's a
giant. He can fly. He has a rocket for an arm. I played against him his rookie year, and he was unbelievable then. And then what was it, just 2 years ago? He was the MVP of the league?
Yeah. Yep. That was the year he was fucking Superman, and the whole stadium was...
You know what play made me think about like the turn? So who beat him in the Super Bowl again?
Peyton Manning. Denver.
Oh, gosh. Man, that feels like that was 100 years ago.
Yeah,
do you remember the fumble that Cam didn't try to go after?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That play, like, ever since that play, like I feel like it's never been the same with him.
Right. And I wanted to give him a pass on how he acted after the game because it was a terrible setup. If you remember, they had literally a bench sheet behind him. Right. And he's listening to guys from Denver talking about like celebrating and being happy as they should have too. So, okay, he acted a bit like a petulant child. I gave him a pass for that, but that not jiving on a fumble in the Super Bowl is wrong all day long. And since then, he hasn't been the same guy. He's been kind of a dick.
Whoa. Just going right after him, huh?
You mean to the media he has? We don't know how he is with his teammates.
Yeah, we don't know. Just because the media ruined him after that Super Bowl, I'd assume he had a change of heart about how he's going to deal with the media. He was still doing commercials for Under Armour and for the yogurt thing, but he wasn't being nice to the media. So you got to remember, some people can get jaded towards the media. And I mean, I think that can affect how they're viewed by people because the only time you get to see this person on TV is what the media is choosing to let you see. Like Jay Cutler was always shown pouting, always, because the media wanted him to be viewed as a pouter because he wasn't the nicest to the media. But like Peyton, all those people, they'd pout and get pissed off and shit like that, and it just wasn't on TV. It wasn't the focal point of everything. It's a big control by the media there on a lot of things. I do think Cam Newton, everything is, as soon as you mentioned that him not jumping on that fumble, I remember that like it was yesterday. I remember thinking like, man, that's not a good look for your starting quarterback right there. That's not a good look at all. Just like eating a W before the game, like that's just not a good look.
Right.
Starting
but you know what? His comments in the aftermath, and I'm with you 100% on the media. I can't be a Patriots fan and not relish watching those guys get the knuckles across the side of their head at press conferences. It's great theater. But he never really owned up to not diving on the fumble. He didn't really make a good accounting of just how badly he played. I mean, that team was a wagon going into that. And AJ, you mentioned his rookie year. That was that was the lockout year, right?
I believe so.
I thought he was going to be a bust of epic proportions because he barely got a chance to look at the playbook or whatever. He had the best rookie season any quarterback had ever had. I think he had 4,000 yards.
That shows maybe they need to go back to that and simplify things and let him just play off of instincts more.
Lockout was the best year ever, by the way.
All right. There should be a lockout every year.
Every year, every fucking year, give a lockout. Jesus Christ, I loved it. I ain't never loved something so much that I'd be like, man, let's do this every year. Let's get locked out of work every single year.
And I never got more nervous than when you would hear every month or so, they'd be like, hey, I guess they're getting close, guys. You might want to make a flight back to get to the facility.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no chance.
I'm like, oh, so I should stop smoking? Is this mean a drug test is coming? Like, hey, man, I need real emails from people. I sent an email to one of our reps. I was like, hey, listen, I want you to know that I understand you guys are under a lot of awkward situations through this whole thing. But if you could give me an email when you think we're around 20 days out, I'd very much appreciate it. and they were like, you got it. And nobody knew. So we just like were cut off at one point. And then when it came back together, god damn. I mean, I was like, this is how every offseason should be. Work out in the morning, get a little practice in, and just go live. It was fucking awesome. It was the best ever.
Was there some way that you could just sort of cleanse the THC out of your system?
No, you can't, Jerry.
Aren't there drinks, though? Don't people try the drinks from
but,
GNC?
But they test for the shit that's in the drinks, too. So it's like, yeah, you can't get busted using that shit. Yeah.
So how many days do you need, Pat, for it out of your system?
For me, after my arrest, after an alleged event occurred, I was definitely drunk, allegedly, in the water. I got tested 8 days after that. And the night before, I partook in a pretty large festivus of marijuana. And 8 days later, I lost 13 pounds. And I just jump rope. I wore a hoodie and jump roped all day during my suspension because I knew they were going to test me because I got an email telling me I was in the substance abuse program and I will be tested within a week. I was like, fuck, I don't want to fail a test because I don't want to be in this substance abuse program for 2 fucking years. And I ended up in it for 27 fucking months. But I never failed a THC test, which felt good.
What about after the lockout, though? They couldn't just say, okay, drug policy's back in place, right?
Yep.
Because
everybody can. Yeah, they can.
But like
got
immediately.
Tested right when you got back.
Yeah.
Everything started immediately.
But before they signed the paper, before DeMaurice Smith put his name to that document,
that guy.
You were not NFL employees, right? And then in an instant you were. So now suddenly you have to abide by a policy that didn't exist 10 seconds earlier?
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, man.
Point. I wonder because the street drug, with the steroid test, that you get tested all year, but with the street drugs and once a year.
Yeah, but you always get tested at OTAs or in the first week of training camp, and we didn't get back until like the first week of training camp, right? I mean, it was like lockout and then training camp happened. So the test was.
So maybe I wonder if those the positive tests for weed that came back from those. I wonder if those guys got put in the program. Do you think
they had
like Josh?
We don't
Gordon.
know. Like Jerry, we don't know who gets put in the program that Pat's talking about. Like if you fail a test, your annual. It's not made public. You're just put in the substance abuse program to where they can test you multiple times a week then for weed.
8 times a month you can get tested anytime you're in a substance abuse program. Any alcohol or drug-related charge, arrest, or anything like that, you automatically go into the substance abuse program. I was tested 8 times a month for 27 months for everything because of my alcohol-related arrest. And I had to go talk to some doctors, and they told me it was an anomaly that night when I got drunk. And they were going to tell the head doctor, Dr. Brown, that it was just an anomaly and they didn't think I was an alcoholic. And I was like, you got it. I was like, you couldn't be more wrong. I was fucking going hard, but I appreciate.
Should have said you got roofied.
I know. That's the easy way out there. That's just like taking the Jesus way out. I didn't want to do that, man. Everybody who's partied with me knew it would have been bullshit anyways. I mean, I was ordering.
It's not exactly the Jesus way, but
I mean, it's an easy way out.
Someone slipped a roofie in my drink, and I have no idea how
I slipped 50 shots in my mouth is what I did. That's what
accidentally.
I slipped 50 shots in my mouth.
Whoops, I fell and...
But Dr. Brown, the head guy of the substance abuse program, called me after phase 1 of the substance abuse program and told me that I was being moved into phase 2, which is the same thing as phase 1, just 24 months. And I said, why? This was an anomaly. And he said, not after I reviewed the footage or something like that. I was like, son of a bitch. 27 months clean sober. I smoked spice for a little bit. That shit was terrible. It was like smoking meth. That was before the people were turning into zombies. But yeah, 24 months of sobriety. But they tested us as soon as we got back from marijuana. Because literally, I got my name called for the first batch of the annual tests. After practice, they read your names off for who got selected. And they go, blah, 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 Mathis, McAfee. And I'm standing next to Vinny. He's like, fuck, are you good? I'm like, well, we're about to find out, cuz. I mean, if I would have got a heads up from you a little bit earlier, that would be great. But yeah, we're about to find out right now. But I was good because it was like a 22-day or 20-day stop.
So were they just testing for weed? Because wasn't that
annual?
The thing with,
no, it's annual test is like weed, cocaine. And the first test of the year it also tests for Adderall. The substance abuse also tests for Adderall, and it's also an enhancer as well. It's a PED and a substance abuse Adderall. So they're testing for everything.
Well, what about alcohol?
No, only if you get arrested for an alcohol-related charge.
Okay, because I remember that was the thing with Brett Favre, that his hang-up was, okay, yeah, I admit I have this addiction to painkillers I'm trying to combat, but now I'm in the protocol where you're testing me for like I can't drink a light beer.
I couldn't drink anything.
Risking,
Can't drink anything because they'll test you at any time, too. I got tested at 4 a.m. in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, after hunting for Bigfoot down there. 4 a.m. just coming for me in Atlanta. Every single city has their own drug-free sport, which is the company that does the pee testing. The guy in Charlotte was a very nice man. The man in Miami piss tested me in a hotel lobby. He was the same dude that Von Miller paid off, the people paid off. He was wearing a gold chain. He was a white dude with a ponytail, like the most flashy piss cup collector I'd ever seen in my life.
Wait, was this out there that he got paid off?
Yeah, it was like some big ordeal. I think it was, and it made sense too. You can Google it right now. I think there was like some piss cup situation that happened. Everybody was saying they were living in Miami. So this guy was supposed to test everybody in the off season. He was just getting clean piss for him. But like one of my first conversations with the guy, I'd known him for 5 minutes and we were in the lobby of a hotel in Miami. And he goes, you down here a lot? And I was like, no. He was like, a lot of guys say they live down here, though. And like, almost like, I was like, no, yeah, I don't, whatever. And I just pissed and I left. And I thought nothing about it until the guys got caught down there. I'm like, I could have just paid that guy off. I could have fucking.
He wanted you to put him on the payroll.
Yeah, and I fucking would have. Just a heads up, I would have absolutely put him on the payroll immediately. I would have helped him buy another chain for his fucking white ass too. No problem at all.
Boy, I'm going to try not to let that destroy my faith in the integrity of white guys with chains and ponytails. Like that's usually a description of a guy you can really trust and rely on.
Absolutely. I don't know if it was Von Miller that got cut up. That's a big time allegation, but it was definitely somebody of notable. Let me Yeah.
I mean, Von Miller just doesn't seem to me to be a likely guy to have been in the
wasn't it his rookie year? He got suspended like a season, didn't he?
Yeah, so here's Sports Illustrated. Von Miller tried to cheat NFL drug test, according to report. Von Miller tried to cheat the NFL's drug testing program with the help of one of the league's urine collectors. ESPN reported Sunday Miller is currently serving a 6-game suspension, 2 games more than the expected punishment. The collector in question was fired by the NFL, though reportedly Miller did not pay any money to try to sidestep the test. I don't know what that means. I have no clue what that means.
Well, yeah, Bond had to sit out a good chunk of games, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm assuming.
He didn't pay money. He gave gold chains.
I'll tell you what, I seen them. I seen what he got them, and they were very nice if that was the case. But I seen them. It was that guy that it had to be the guy that I met. I mean, granted, they never released that guy's picture or anything like that. It was an interesting situation, though. Yeah, I've pissed in lobbies of hotels. I've pissed in like outhouses out in the middle of the woods for like right in front of another guy collecting my piss. It's an interesting situation, man.
I just can't imagine having to face random tests for alcohol. Trust me for drugs all day long. Absolutely, sure. You want hair samples?
I had to call
my blood.
I had to call the New York office anytime I left my home for more than a day. Give them an address they could reach me at and 2 phone numbers. Every time I left, I had like a PO. So I'd be like, it'd be like NFL office, New York. Blah, blah. I'd be like, hi, how's it going? I need to report where I'm going. Okay, and they'd send me over to somebody and they'd be like, what's your name? It's like, what's your number almost? What's your name? Where are you going? What are 2 phone numbers we can reach you at? Have a good day. Hang up. Every time I left.
Meanwhile, Jim Irsay, is just like just taking a pill bottle the size of like a can of Foster's and just inhaling it every night.
I got piss tested in Pittsburgh on a Friday or on a Thursday, Vegas on a Saturday, and then Indianapolis on the next Tuesday. They knew I was going to have a weekend, and they put a fucking test right in the middle of it. They fucking knew it.
But it's random.
Good call no, it wasn't random. It was when I was in the program.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, Jerry, to be clear, you only get tested for alcohol if you get in trouble, like an alcohol-related offense.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I got a buddy wrecked a dirt bike. Never got reckless op eventually, and he got tested for like 18 months afterwards for alcohol.
All right, because you'll get guys like charged in court, and part of their probation is they had an OUI, so they'll have to submit to random urine screens or whatever, and every one of those guys thinks that they can gin the system. Like, oh well, I got tested yesterday, so now I can go on a bender. Like, right. Yeah, the government hasn't figured that out yet. You're going to outsmart them.
Janikowski told me to go on cruises. That's how you beat it.
Oh, because you're outside of international waters.
And you're in literally a different country every day. So unless they're going to get a fucking passport and have the guy travel around the islands, he's not going to get you. So Janikowski said, go on cruise. Go on cruise. I go, genius. He goes, I know. I had to do the same thing. He's the best. Janikowski was the best, man. He texted me the other day out of nowhere. He goes, this Sebastian new phone. And I was like, and I responded, Janikowski with a question mark? And he said, yes. And that was it. That was the only conversation we had. It was the only I never had his number before. I don't even think I had his old number. I'm like, I'm so excited to have Janikowski's phone number now. Like, I think we're friends all of a sudden.
He really is your substance abuse mentor. He's like your Miyagi of Adderall and vaping.
No, I don't think so. I don't know if he does any of those now that he's. But I think back in the day, he really enjoyed life heavily. I mean, he was taking roofies. I mean, that's living. That's living.
Yeah.
If you're a roofie.
And I can't tell you enough not to try the spice. If people who don't know, it's basically incense that you smoke and it gives you a weird high. That's what we all think Chandler Jones did in the playoffs a couple of years ago when he walked in to the police station in Foxborough, like naked to the waist in January.
I think those are bath salts, by the way. I think spice was getting lumped in with bath salts because I smoked spice for like a good 3-4 months. And it would give me a nasty headache afterwards, as if I was smoking meth, which is basically what it was. But it ain't never make me want to eat somebody or do any of that weird shit like those bath salts were doing to people. Those bath salts were really fucking people up. People were turning into zombies and shit.
Right.
They were eating things, and I think Chandler Jones was on something like that more so than Spice. I don't know, though. I have no idea. Spice was terrible, too.
See, the spice you can buy in the store at the gas station, and it's legal. But a buddy of mine's an EMT who said, yeah, it's legal to take a spoonful of Drano, but you shouldn't do that either. Even though it does give you a really nice high.
Does it?
I don't know. I have no doubt. Don't do Drano, everybody. That's our entire F block is going to be just don't do spice or Drano, kids. But the bath salts thing, I'm convinced that had nothing to do with bath salts. That is the zombie apocalypse, and it's upon us.
I think it's done, though. Like, bath salts is the first thing that really united America's drug dealers, I think. They were all like, listen, we can't be selling this shit anymore. Like, people are becoming, like, the worst kind of humans on Earth. Everybody on Earth, like, decided not to sell it anymore. Bath salts kind of disappeared. And then, like, 5-6 months after it all disappeared, there was a gigantic bust in Muncie, Indiana, right up the street here. There's like a big bath salt. And I'm like, yo, Muncie. Like, the whole world has decided this is bad. You guys still got this shit. We got to fix this. And I love Ball State. It's one of my favorite places, but they definitely had the fucking zombie drug way after everybody else. But it is,
Pat.
Yeah, buddy.
How about your boy, not good for the brand, was your boy Blair Walsh on some bath salts today?
Yikes. Like, what the fuck's going on there? I didn't get to see any of them because I was on the other show, and the fucking tornado here knocked out my Direct TV, which I don't think I have a deal with anymore. Man, they got to figure out how to stop that shit from happening, okay? I got Sunday Ticket. I love it. It's access to everything. But fucking, hey, here in Indiana, if it starts pissing and winding, it's all of a sudden a frozen screen. I fucking miss it all. I miss everything. I missed it.
Because all your cable techs are on bath salts.
Yikes.
Like, seriously, dude, move out of the heartland.
What? No way. I love it out here, nice and quiet.
All right,
Got
well,
some
then get
hail
rid of the
coming inside the studio, but I think DirecTV needs to create some system to go around them to protect themselves from wind. That's just something I should think they can make the user experience a lot better. But Blair Walsh had a shit day. What did he do? He missed them all left? Did you see it?
0 for 3. I don't know if were they all. I know at least one was left. Were all of them left? I don't know.
I don't know. So it normally means that you're planting too far behind the ball or too far away from the ball, right? So that means his plant foot is it's too far away from the ball, so he's reaching and hooking on everything. So he's hitting it.
It's so mental now, though, don't you think? After you miss a couple.
Oh my God! Because once two get in your head, the only thing you think of is that how are you going to fuck it up again? It's just like when I would if I was to drop a snap in practice, like I would do 300 reps right after that, because if I didn't, like all I would think about before the next snap is like, don't fucking drop this snap. Like all I'd be thinking is like, you drop the snap, this life is over right now. Like literally everything is over. Everything stops. Your nice life that you're living, your family's nice life, these trips, you drop the snap, it's over. So I like start overthinking it. So I would only, if I drop one, I would do like 300 reps directly after that. Wouldn't even stop. And it just got to the point where, because once something bad happens, your mind just at any given time, if it ever goes, oh, that might happen again right now, like it fucks up everything. That's why I was very lucky to be dumb that I didn't think like that as much. But if you start overthinking it, paralysis by analysis, that's a whole fuck job, especially after the Vikings thing that happened with them.
Wait, so you're telling me, though, even if you took 300 snaps in a row at practice, you're telling me that first hold you had in that game coming up, you didn't think about it?
No. Nope. It was something where I had to just like get through it number wise. It was like if I spent enough time, it would like my brain would eliminate the smaller, less important memories to fill it up with the better memories. You know, Kenny Power. You can't remember everybody, but you're 100% right though. If you're ever like in a sketchy situation with poor like rain or wind, right? If there's like rain or wind and I have to like catch a snap or whatever and it's a nightmare, my brain often did give me like a big dick into my confidence. Like, hey, this ball's going to be slick as shit, bro. You should think about that. I'm like, why are you saying that to me right now? Like, why is my brain thinking about like, let's just have a good time here? And it's like right before the ball is fucking snapped. I'm like, fuck you. And you just got to battle through it. There's a mental test going on in every minute little job because there's so much happening in such a quick time.
Like Romo. Remember Romo dropping the snap? It was at a playoff game?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. It was a down one, and it was the extra point that would have tied it, right?
Yep. I don't know how you get that out of your mind, though, once it happens. Like Blair Walsh I missed 2 kicks in a college game, very important college game, and we lost 13-9. And every time I kick after that for like the next 4 years, I thought about it. I was like, here you go. This is where you miss from in the fucking 13. You could go ahead and just miss this one too, bud. So Blair Walsh might be back on that same type of thought. That's not good for him. Not good at all. It's not a fun trip to go on.
It's going to help, though. And it isn't going to help his confidence when he goes in the facility tomorrow and Tuesday and he sees like 9 kickers lined up to work out.
Oh, or he'll get a text from like one of his kicker friends like, hey, coming to town, man. Oh, yeah.
You want to go to dinner?
Can I stay at your house? Okay, yeah, what for, man? Oh, I just got to work out. Oh, in Seattle? Yeah.
With the Sounders, the soccer team, or who?
Well, Pat, did you watch it close enough to see if there's something wrong?
I didn't see any of them. I didn't.
Okay, all right. The reason I ask is, it's sometimes I get what you're saying. Sometimes it's just mental. Everybody has that golf hole where they just, it's a simple 7-iron over the pond, and I'm going to put it dead center of the pond, and I do it every single time. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things that it gets in your head, and then it makes you do a lot of self-loathing, like why I can't do this simple task right now. And I could see where a kicker especially, because it's repetitive motion, right? Every kick is exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not? I mean,
why it's the worst position in pro sports is kicker.
Yep. Oh, it is. There's so much happening in such a little time that if one thing's flawed, bang, bang, it can fuck up everything. It's an interesting state of mind you got to get through. Everybody says you got to have like a short-term memory or whatever, but I did not enjoy that mindset at all. I like to think about it until it pissed me off so much. I was like, all right, I never want to feel this way again, so I'm not going to let that happen again. Like, that was kind of my way of getting through it. I would get so angry. I'm telling you, if you ever came to practice, like Chuck Pagano's first practice, because I joke around a lot. I mean, I have a good time. But when I practiced and when I was kicking balls, I was like, okay, I make a lot of money doing this. I should be good at this. So I took it serious. It was a little bit of a light switch, you know? I ate W's every time I got on. I flipped the light switch, AJ. So this is Chuck Pagano's first practice, first training camp with me. He had never seen me before, never seen me work before. Right, he just knew me from off the field, like my Twitter and shit like that. First period is punt. I hit a couple good balls, bang, bang. Third ball, a absolute shit ball, just absolutely terrible punt, right? I go, fuck, loud, like a loud motherfucker, right? Like full on pissed off. Chuck walks over to me, stops the practice. He goes, listen, I don't know what that was, but go ahead and turn around and look about 7 yards behind you. And I turned, it was like an entire fucking like children's hospital. Right? It was like Riley's Children's Hospital was there. And I was like, listen, if they want to come watch Daddy work, they're going to listen to Daddy speak. he said, you're a fucking asshole. I said, I know, but I'm sorry, but that's just how this is going to go. He flips the field. So we go to the other end so that because I told him there's no way that it's going to change. Like, I'm not going to change. Until the year I retired, if you saw me miss one in practice or a game, if there was a microphone around, there was a lovely concoction of words coming out with fuck included at least once or twice. I was just so mad. It would just be like an immediate motherfucking son of a fuck, like loud, angry. You're gonna lose all your fucking money is basically what's going through my head at that point. And then
as a punter, you can do that though. As a kicker, you can't just anger them into the goalpost. Like as a punter, you can do that, but kicker is a little different, man.
Yeah, I kind of learned that too in my kicking career. Like I learned that you can't just swing harder the next time and it's gonna work out. In punting, you can just swing fucking hard. But the only issue with punting and kicking is if you're having a shit game, like you can't make up for it with effort. Right? So, like, if you're having a bad game, you can give, like, maximum effort or plus effort. Like, you know what I mean? Like, guys, in kicking and punting, if you're having a shit game, there ain't no effort you can give. Like, you're not just going to out-effort people down the field on a coverage of a punt and not get your fucking dick kicked in. Like, there ain't no efforting if you're not doing your skill well, like other positions.
You know what? And to let you off the hook a little bit, Pat, I think if you're a kid in a children's hospital,
yeah,
like hearing sentence enhancers out of some pro football players, probably not the worst thing that's happening to you right now.
Yikes.
Yeah, Pagano might want to just lighten up on that a little bit.
Jerry, yikes right there. Listen, those kids and I had a great relationship afterwards, but I did feel bad. Because, I mean, it was like a special day. I did feel bad. But listen, I only know one way. You know, I'm going to hit it hard, man. Hard. It'll go far, man. Far. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, that's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Long. Till it's gone, man. Gone. Keep taking chances, living large. I hit it hard.
Is that John Daly?
Fucking ding, 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 ding. You nailed that. You just said you didn't like country music earlier.
Well, I like John Daly.
Who doesn't, by the way? He's got 4 ex-wives, he told me. Those are the only people that don't like him. 4 ex-wives.
All my exes wear Rolexes.
Yep.
All right. Well, bringing it back briefly.
B-block.
That have started to suck.
Started B-block.
B-block.
No, it's still on A. Kansas City. Kansas City gets worse by the week.
What's
They're
happening?
not the best team in the NFL anymore, Jerry?
Clearly not. And I know that there's nothing you despise more than trying to figure out who is the best team in football.
I think right now Philly is the best team actually right now. I was just thinking of that today when I was driving. I was driving in that rainstorm. Like, you know what? I think I can step out on a limb and I could crown Philly as the best team in the NFL right now.
Always
I'm not saying
cover
they're going to win the
too.
Super Bowl, but right now.
They always cover too. At least in my situations of betting on them, which is like 3 or 4 weeks of this season. They are a beautiful team. God damn, they're good. Carson Wentz is just the guy. And now you got a Blunt and a J in a backfield, Cuzzo, rolling, riding high in the Eagles' backfield. And then I really enjoy their team. I think their defense is very much underrated. The Chiefs, they got to get Kareem Hunt rolling again. They got to get that ball to Tyreek Hill. But I still have faith in Alex Smith and Andy Reid figuring it out before the end of the year. I think everything's going to work out for them, too.
You know what? I think this is Smith, though, and I'm not by any means suggesting he's a terrible quarterback, but I think this is him returning to form. He was playing out of his mind for a month.
He didn't play bad today.
But, I mean, you know what? He's not capable of carrying a team like he did for the first couple of weeks. And he never has. I mean, we're not on a small sample size of his career anymore. He's been around years, and I think what he's playing right now is more to what he was. I don't know the exact numbers, but I want to say 3 weeks into the season, his passer rating was like in the 130s. And you say, okay, that's got to balance out.
Hey, hold on. Speaking of that type of thing, Tom Brady's leading the NFL in passing yards. Did you see that?
Yes.
He was at least before this weekend.
Before this week, right. Yeah, when they had all played, when he and Smith and Wentz had the same number of games, he was like a good 400.
Which is outrageous, by the way. The NFL posted a graphic, and Tom Brady said could do better. Was he talking to himself or the graphic?
Oh, no, he put it on. I mean, he posted that comment on Instagram for the world to see. That could be better. Exclamation point.
That he could be better, or that the graphic itself was shit?
Oh, no, I think he's talking about himself.
Oh.
That he's on a pace for 5,000 yards. By the way, he's also, the first month anyway, his offensive line was chaos. He was getting hit more than he has in his whole career. He was on a record pace for sacks. And right now he leads the league in passes dropped.
He's so good at football.
And he's still on a pace for 5,000.
He's so good at football, dude. It's absurd how fucking good he is at football. And now he's trolling people? Like, goddamn, enough, dude. How about his commercials he's putting out, though? Very interesting commercials this late in his career to be putting out. He's getting real comfortable. I like this Tom Brady getting real comfortable. These commercials are very much outrageous.
Which ones in particular? You're talking about like the mattress one where...
The alien one where he was talking like he was from another planet?
Oh, that one for the candy.
Which one you said? Which one? The one where he's talking like he's from another fucking planet. That one. That's the one.
Oh no, that was out there where the buses don't run. That
But
was surreal.
Is that where he talks about how he doesn't get sunburn anymore because he's hydrated?
It was for these.
Nope, that was another one, I guess.
Yeah, he's got these chocolates that aren't really chocolates, and he did this Halloween one where it was part like a Willy Wonka thing, like he was giving you golden tickets in some of his chocolate bars, but at the same time he was talking like he was on a spaceship.
I was so mind blown at the lack of fucks Tom Brady was giving at that exact moment of filming that. There was zero fucks given. He was acting like he was a fucking Martian, AJ. Like, on a single shot, right on it, like an internet video. It was awesome. Like, Tom Brady just gives no fucks at this point.
Pat, you know what it was like, and this is going to be a deep pull, but remember the Heaven's Gate cult?
Oh, yeah.
The Hale-Bopp comet and everything, and that weird video of their leader, like with his like dead behind the eyes, just reading off a teleprompter or whatever. Brady had a little bit of that going. I really don't know what the effect was that he was going for to sell nutritious chocolate.
Tom Brady does whatever the fuck Tom Brady wants to do. That's what everybody needs to know. And he leads the NFL in pass. Just what AJ said the first couple weeks of this show. He said, we can talk about all these teams, but everybody knows when Tom Brady and Belichick find it, it's all over for everybody else. That's what AJ actually said.
How about his bye-week Instagrams? Did you see that? He put out a picture of Giselle laying on a beach that she looks like she's not human, like she's of some higher species than us. She's like metahuman. Like that body after having a couple of kids and, you know, I don't know, she's probably late 30s now. And it was just astonishing. And that's what he's putting out on his bye week. Again, it's just a warning shot across the bow of everybody to say, this is my life. This is what I'm doing. I'm winning off the field. I'm winning on the field.
Hey, he's 40, right? He can do whatever he wants.
And you know
I
what?
am
It's not in this block, but I'm going to call an audible right now. The Jimmy Garoppolo trade.
How about that?
Yeah.
He was dressed today too. He was dressed, and Beathard was just getting crushed. I was like, "Are they
going to
next
week?
You think so?
Next week, don't you think?
think
Why,
so?
why would you stay with Beathard? You got to see what you got.
And you know what? They're playing the Giants, who gave up 51 today to a team.
What's
that
up with
let
the
up.
Giants? Why are the Giants not good at football?
What happened? You're right.
Why are the Giants so bad at football? I don't.
Right.
Odell Beckham got hurt.
How about the fact that the Rams took their foot off the gas? They only put up 3 points in the fourth quarter and still won 51-17. I can't explain it. Eli Manning looks terrible. Like everybody's body language looks bad when things aren't going well. No one's is worse than his. Like
Eli's is bad when things are going
good,
going great. His facial, everything about him still looks the same. I feel like,
but he looks like a guy walking the Green Mile. You know, like they're bringing him to the electric chair. He gets tapped by Aaron Donald, and the ball's coming out, and it's a complete and utter collapse. To me, that's the team I want to throw Garoppolo against. And just say, hey, look, this is kind of like it'll be basically a bye week for you. Just learn our system. Just hit the open guy. They're going to make it easy on you.
3 quarterbacks that were in the Patriots training camp have the potential to be starting next week in the NFL.
Yeah, and Tebow's out there too. Someone might sign Tebow. He was in camp with them.
Yeah. You've got Matt.
Sign him to what? Sign Tebow to what, AJ?
Be a starting quarterback.
Colin Kaepernick, possibly, huh?
Yeah, what happened? Houston's not going to sign him?
What about RG3? How come nobody's talking about old RG3 too?
That's a good question.
There were reports out this week from guys who played with him just saying he just kind of lost the will for it. Like after that rookie season, and it looked like he was going to be one of the greats. He was going to be the next big thing. He was going to challenge Manning and Brady or whatever, that he just lost the fight and didn't put in the work.
Was it the ACL? Like he tore his ACL and he never really came back to form. I wonder what it was, because obviously there's some mental stuff going on and there's some decision making that might be lacking as well. If you notice, I know he got divorced, which everyone has their issues, whatever happens. But then he, like, shortly afterwards, he got, I think, his girlfriend's face tattooed on his forearm.
Who?
Shortly after his divorce, RG3, and he has a kid with her now. I think they might be engaged or married. But it was a very quick move to the forearm tattoo of his new girlfriend.
New girlfriend or old girlfriend?
Well, new after he got divorced. Then he ended up dating a girl, and I think they have a kid together now. They may be engaged, but it was pretty quick. I feel like where he went from
a face tattoo.
Yeah,
on the arm.
Maybe it's her name tattooed on his forearm. It's pretty big too.
Yeah. Regardless, though, if marriage doesn't work out, which is kind of implied that it's permanent, are you really going to get a tattoo, which by definition is permanent?
AJ has one right there, a tiger hawk. He's got a goddamn tiger hawk.
Bam. The funny thing is people have said that to me, so I got it when my finger went sideways and can't fit my ring on, whatever. It's not like it makes you a good husband if you wear your ring either.
Sure.
I like wearing the ring. So
yeah.
People would say, "Oh man, that's like the kiss of death. Aren't you scared? Like, if you get a ring tattoo, it's like the kiss of death." I'm like, bro, if my wife leaves me, this tattoo's the least of my worries. Like, I got plenty of other things to worry about. Like, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about being jinxed. This isn't the Madden cover. So I decided. Now, what I would not do is ever get a name of girlfriend tattooed on my arm. I know I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's a post-wedding thing. Or not at all. You know what I mean?
I got the fucking full court press on me from all angles, by the way, right now. All angles. Every other commercial is a goddamn diamond commercial right now. Every fucking billboard is a diamond billboard. Every text from my mom and dad is like hey, what are we thinking? Is it time? Her dog even gives me fucking looks at times. I mean, it's just all angles coming at me for this thing. All angles.
As a friend, can I just give you one piece of advice if you go through with this?
Yeah.
Don't do the stunt proposal.
Oh God!
Please, for the love of God, right?
What do you mean?
I gotta do it at a Pacers game, Pat. It'd be really cool.
How about? Did you see the chick propose to the dude the other night at the Wizards game?
No.
Yeah, that happened. I showed it to my lady. I said, hey, if this ever happens, by the way, I will be the girl that says no at one of those situations. And she said, yeah, I ain't ever asking you. That's your job. I was like, oh,
Right.
She's right, though. She is right. But that Wizards one was interesting. Did you see that, AJ?
Did not know what a girl proposed to the dude.
His name was Len.
Dude, that's the ultimate like power move. She just the jumbotron.
Yeah, and she said enough is enough and said we're back in the game. You guys both just cut out. Did that just happen?
Yeah.
We're back. I mean,
Yeah,
I respect her going out on a limb, probably thinking like, hey, this guy's not going to do it. He's pussyfooting around. I'm going to do it. Bam, and on a public stage, so he cannot say no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they put everybody on blast on those things. Jerry, have you ever seen a successful no video?
I was listening to some guys around here talking the other day about one at Fenway this year. The scoreboard was, focused on them, and she said no. Now, you see those, and I'm convinced
Fake.
that it's a stunt every single time.
Whoa.
That, it's just they're actors or whatever. Because you ever notice they always look like the most perfect couple? You know what I mean? They always look like the ones that come in the fake picture that's in the picture frame that you bought. And so, like, wait a minute, how is it that they're always that super attractive? But they say there was one at Fenway,
Really?
legit, that they know the guy who asked, and the girl just shot him down in front of the whole world.
Are they normally attractive?
Like, in the ones that you see, like, at a basketball game, it happens about 2-3 times a year where clearly the whole thing was staged. Those are the ones I'm saying. Like, they're always super attractive.
Gotcha.
So that's how you kind of know it's fake. Like, I think there's just some company that just hires actors to, like, give people shit to talk about at your basketball game or whatever.
Marketing, you mean?
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
I think if my wife was the kind of girl that wanted to be proposed to on the jumbotron of a sporting event, like I think that would give me a clear picture that she's not the one.
Yeah.
No,
That's
no
a good
disrespect for the girls that want that.
So
but
true,
if you actually want that, I understand the girls that have been hanging in for 10 years and they want to marry the guy and like, all right, well, not ideal circumstances for the proposal, but sure, I'm going to say yes because I want to be married to him. But if a girl like actively is pushing for that, like, let's do a real cool one, maybe at maybe the Pacers game or Seattle Sounders, a soccer game, you can talk to him, put on the jumbotron like that. I think that right there, I'd be running.
Seattle Sounders. So my thought.
I was just out there, my bad. Yeah, it's the Sounders. Drew Carey is a part owner, I think.
So you know what? That guy gets a bad rap. Cleveland rocked whenever he had his show, and since he's done The Price is Right, the judgment of him has gone down heavy.
Is he still on The Price is Right?
Yeah. It's
Oh, yeah?
It's not good. And nobody could have followed Bob Barker though. Nobody.
Hey, they wanted Herb Street for that?
What?
Yeah, Herbie. They like. I don't even think he auditioned. They offered him the gig.
And he said
Really?
no.
Yeah, that's not his style. I think
It's like $10 million a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
they-
sure he had to think about it. I've talked to him about it a while ago, and I think he just. You gotta find a way to put on a lot of fake cheesy energy if you're gonna do that gig though.
It's my life.
Yeah, but
I don't
but
know how
you
I don't
only-
have that. I don't know how I don't have that gig. Give me Family Feud when Steve Harvey's done too. I'll take that to another level.
Oh,
Yeah, you
listen.
could do Family Feud, but you have to be a true talent to do Family Feud.
Steve Harvey crushes on there, and I cannot wait until Steve Harvey is looking to hand over the reins to somebody, and they have an open audition, and I show up and just teabag the whole operation. I think I was born for Family Feud. Boy, I think I was. After watching what Steve Harvey does with that show, he is so good at that show, and I would very much love it. I would enjoy it so much. The dumbasses that just go in there, and the answers that are given, it's just set up for gold. It's just set up for comedy gold. Just everywhere you look, every answer has the potential to be a viral video. Every single one. It's incredible.
That's all they want. That's all they want
It's
is people to
incredible.
clips to go viral.
And you just get
Listen.
to react to it and enjoy the fuck out of it. Steve Harvey just enjoys the hell out of it. That's why it's so good. I would love it.
And next to being, say, a voiceover actor, it's the easiest gig in show business. I mean, you probably film 5 episodes in a day, and then you
he
just
does.
knock off for the rest of the week. Trebekah's been doing Jeopardy now for 34 years. There's the life for me.
Let's not knock
That's-
Sajak either. Oh, Sajak there has been on the Wheel of Fortune with Vanna White having a good time right before the seriousness of Trebek starts. That guy used to drink margaritas and go on the show. Oh, Sajak. I love that fucking Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. They stroke me. They stroke me right where I need to be stroked. They're great. They're a great little tag team of entertainment.
Oh, hell yeah.
They're a great
yeah.
little tag team of
Because
entertainment.
The second show is for like the smartest people in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the earlier one is for basically
The dumbest.
people that breathe out their mouth.
Wait, what do you
know
mean
what I mean?
first and second show? What are you talking about?
Jeopardy
Yikes.
is for the
Yikes.
smartest people in the world, whereas like Wheel of Fortune, it's basically people who know the letters of the alphabet.
Let me explain it. Jeopardy is for the crossword puzzlers. Wheel of Fortune is for the word searchers. That is the exact lineup of the brain people that go for which one.
So who's for the Sudokuers?
Sudoku's Jeopardy, they're with the crossword puzzlers because the crossword puzzle and a Sudoku are the same goddamn thing, I think, if you learn the way to do it. Yeah, there's like
Sudoku's
tricks.
ridiculous.
No, there's tricks to do all of them. They all have their own little... Listen, the offensive linemen for the Colts were like the biggest crossword puzzlers on... Costanzo loves that shit, and they'll have like a system. There's like a strategy for it, and for Sudoku, it's the same type of strategy. It's the same type of shit. They're like real high-level thinkers. But for me, I'm a word search guy. You can find me on a word search app for a few hours. I'm all in on those things. I just want it because I feel like that's more like street smarts. Like you can notice shit, right? Like the crossword puzzle is just straight up book smart. You got to know shit. That's how I view it. That's why I'm a Wheel of Fortune guy over a Jeopardy guy. But I can understand. I enjoy watching the super nerds in their Super Bowl on the Jeopardy. I very much respect their brains.
Oh, hell yeah. I want to be Trebek because I want to do the interviews.
Oh,
because I just think he has too sheltered an existence to really be able to do those. I think he sits by a fireplace every night reading a book with a cardigan with elbow patches on it, and
he's the best.
I want to talk to the guy who collects stamps. I want to talk to the guy whose like favorite thing is to go to every national park and just find out more about him instead of just that sounds like fun for you. Oh, Christ. I blogged about this week. Trebek gave an interview where he said that he one time freaked out on hash brownies. Like, he ate like a half a dozen of them.
I love that. That's like the most electric 2.5 minutes on TV right there, is when Trebek, the super snob from Canada who appears to know everything, conversates with the super smart people of the world. It's enjoyable as fuck. I really love it. I love Jeopardy. It's my thing, but it's definitely crossword puzzle versus word searchers.
Well, let's.
Hey, Jerry, before you get into your C block,
before we get into another block, I don't know
what happened. What do you guys think Fournette did to be deactivated?
He didn't show up for the team photo.
Are you sure it can't be just that?
And I think he blew off a workout, maybe,
it's probably
or
a treatment. Right? It's probably a treatment. He probably missed the treatment or showed up late to a treatment and missed the team photo. Is that true? The team photo? You're just telling me that now. I'm just learning that for the first time right now.
It's part of like I think 3 things that he did that hacked them off, but the team photo was one. And
treatment, by the way, is normally 6 a.m. every fucking day. Treatment is like 6 a.m. every single day, and if you miss it, it's a big fucking deal because that's literally your practice to get the team better at that point. Vontae Davis, also of the Colts, left home, healthy scratch, didn't even get to go to the travel.
What happened?
I have no idea. I sent him a text, and he didn't say a single word back. It was like the first time I ever felt like an actual journalist or like a media person. Because they reported, they were like, Vontae Davis was left home for coach's decision or something like that. So I sent him a text. I'm like, yo, it's McAfee. What happened? Because they were talking about him getting traded last week. He was up on the trading block. So I wonder if something came or spawned from that. I wonder if there was a conversation that spawned from that somebody got pissed off at somebody. I just wonder what the fuck happened. I want to know, and I didn't.
Would he be a guy that would like go in the tank if he thought that the team was shopping him?
You know what? I don't know. I have no idea.
Or he's upset he didn't get traded. That could be it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I honestly don't know. All I remember is whenever he was with the Colts, it was like a new Vontae, right? It was a brand new Vontae. Miami, he had I think he had a Lambo or a Ferrari down there. He was partying. He was living. Him getting traded to Indianapolis saved his career. It was a good time. He got married. He made the Pro Bowl, all that stuff. I think he's a genuine worker. So I think he might have got a little pissed off if they were thinking about trading him, maybe. I think. And that might become a thing because he is he's a very emotional guy. I mean, Vontae's an emotional dude. He gets along with people. He's very nice. He's just so I don't know. I have no clue what could have happened. I honestly, that could have gone either way. I have no clue.
You know what? On the Fournette thing, and I don't know if I'm mixing up my blocks, but I want to give a game ball to Doug Marrone for that. And I want your take on this as guys who played with, I'm sure both of you had like, I don't know, malcontents is probably not the right word. I don't want to judge Fournette, but just guys who broke rules or whatever.
Yeah,
And
they're
don't
usually
you-
special teamers, and it was usually special teamers. No, not only me, but usually it was my fucking gunners, to be honest with you, and I hated it. I was like, listen, they're only playing gunner for us. They're not doing anything else, or they're only on special teams. They're big players for our special teams. They're doing nothing else. Like if these dudes sleep in every once in a while, just fine them. Just fine them. But you're fucking everybody if you don't let these dudes go make tackles on Sundays. That's how I feel. Like fine them. If they're late or missing something, take their money. It's their job to be there. But whenever you eliminate an incredibly talented person, it directly affects other people too. And I think that's something. Now for Fournette, I have no idea. I have no clue what all he did. But if guys are like sleeping in meetings and shit like that, like some guys would get deactivated and other guys would get activated because like one guy was like a fuck off in meetings or something like that. And I'd be like, God damn, but he's like fucking 10 times better as a gunner. Just let me have him as a fucking gunner. Like
It's never one thing though, Pat. Don't
Yeah,
you
I know.
think so it's always
Yeah.
a chain of
Series.
things.
It's
All
a
right, man,
series.
It's too many things in a row. We got to like they do it to set an example too that the coach is in charge. Like, hey, I'm sitting down the stud. Like that's what I'm doing.
But AJ, do you think that serves like a greater good? I'll give you a different example.
I actually
than
do.
Marrone. How about Adam Gase? Like, we're all scratching our heads. Why trade Jay Ajayi? Like they got so little for him. It looked like, like a tanking move. But now you listen to Gase talk and you realize he was just sick of his crap.
Yeah, I think it actually does. The team notices that. Guys pay attention. I think we've spoke about this before on here to where when you do that to a stud player, everyone notices and thinks, hey, nobody's untouchable. Like they'll sit this guy down. Gase will leave you at home as he did Ajayi last year before he he all of a sudden blew up when he got back and was playing. So yeah, I think it does. It kind of sets the tone that who's in charge. So I do think at times if but it's never like one thing like, oh, you were 2 minutes late for a meeting, you're staying home, you're not going to the game. It's never that. It's always a series of things to where like, oh, this guy's been late for workouts a few times. He falls asleep in meetings. Oh, he's not getting out to walk through in time. It's just always something. I'm not saying that's what happened with Fournette,
Right.
but I'm guessing it's not just one specific incident.
Well, Marrone too, after the game, I don't know if you saw it, last final seconds or whatever, was in a screaming match with Blake Bortles.
Like
And
were they legit like mad at each other?
I mean, you've been on sidelines. Maybe that's real common or whatever, but this is at the end of a pretty impressive win. And I think, you know what? I looked at that and I said, good for Marrone because look at what he followed.
Good for
Gus
Bortles,
Bradley
though.
Gus Bradley had one of the worst records in the history of football, and all we ever heard was Jacksonville's going to turn it around. They were the team of the future and always will be. And now they're in first place in a weak division, but I think maybe he's starting to actually get out of them what they always had for potential, and maybe it's because he's got this no-nonsense.
Coughlin's there too, right? Isn't Tom Coughlin? I think Tom Coughlin being around definitely fucking trickles down some good shit too. I mean, he was a pretty disciplined fella, right? He was like a 5 minutes early type of person, 5 minutes before start time. Is the start time shit.
15 minutes early, and I mean, he took over a team of veterans. I mean, I think Strahan just said to him, look, you don't need to talk to me like that. Like, I don't need this crap. I've done a lot in this league, and they sort of reached a compromise. But, oh, yeah, Coughlin is old school and as hard an ass as there is in the game. So when Marrone pulls this stuff, he's got the backing of the guy upstairs.
Hey, Coughlin is like that, and in that you're right, Jerry. They came to a compromise. It seems like where hey, you just can't be dictator all the time. Like so, he loosened up on certain things and won a couple rings. But one thing Coughlin does, and I think players like and respect it, when they practice, they don't have any garbage. Like no one's on the ground. If the running back is ever even touches the ground, he freaks out on defensive guys. And that happens all the time where you would be doing like inside run period, and you'll be knocking the starting running back down. Guys getting fights, gets too physical, and you get hurt a stud. Coughlin was never anything for that. We practiced with them when his last year as the head coach when I was with the Bengals, and they were like, Coughlin he's a pro. Like treat it like a pro. This is your job. I expect this from you. But he also takes care of him and doesn't make him do things like just crazy things, beat him up in practice for 4 hours like you would think a guy like that would do. So he knows when to push and when to kind of step back.
That's awesome to hear. That's very awesome to hear. I very much looked forward to watching practices, like especially at training camp, like whenever things were starting to get heated and positions were on the line and shit. I always look forward to that because a big thing if you can't practice, you won't make the team. Like if you're a fucking wild animal and you can't stay on your feet and you like are all over the place and you hit people, you'll get cut strictly out of the fact that you're a risk factor. It's just like a very interesting thing to watch because you see these young dudes and it's like a 3s-on-3s day. And you see these guys just rolling around on the ground, rolling up on people. And all you hear is like, just like learn how to practice is what everybody's like, you guys are just going to be a risk factor. And dudes don't make the team because of that shit. It's
we would see that happen. My first 2 years in Green Bay, Favre was the starter. And every once in a while, everyone knows, like, don't hurt the meal ticket. That you never go near the quarterback. And every once in a while, a guy would think he had a good rush or something and would run into Brett, and Brett's old body would like fall down, like topple over, and the whole place would just go silent. And everyone knew, like, oh, God, like, oh, that dude's gone. And they never like cut anybody on the spot. But it was like the whole place a hush would come to it. And same thing with Aaron. Like Aaron those guys would never ask for that and never say like, hey, stay away from me. But the coaches and everybody knows, like, absolutely keep like a 5-foot force field around that guy. Yeah, great. You beat the tackle. We know you're going to get a sack there.
On a Wednesday. On a Wednesday, you're a fucking monster, man. Yeah,
exactly.
You just fucked our whole city. You just fucked the entire city of Green Bay, Wisconsin with that fucking move you just made.
Exactly.
Hey, on that note, do we know what happened to Deshaun Watson? Like,
yeah, I wonder how
ACL?
Yeah, but how? Like in a practice?
It said I think they said it was on he was running like a drill, like a read option drill, and just non-contact.
Juke
on grass too. It wasn't field turf.
Because there's a reason to cut a guy. If somebody went near him and caused that, like that guy, you throw him into the the worst penitentiary in Houston, because what a friggin' cosmic nut punch that is.
Think of the number of people that affects. When like a guy like that, say
the whole city
he got hurt by somebody. Every coach on that staff, every coach's family, their kids, and where they're going, all the people in the front office, like everybody is on alert. Then like, oh man, like the repercussions from this one thing are gigantic. It's unbelievable when you actually think about it.
Millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. How about DeAndre Hopkins' entire career? Will Fuller, like every season counts. They could get hurt next year and not like every single. There are so many. Like that's what the difference between the NFL and college. If you are an adult and making actual money and you start realizing things, your job, like there's so many people depending upon you not fucking up. Like that's a real situation. Like when you're in a punter or a kicker situation, like there's an entire coaching staff, athletic trainers, equipment managers, marketing people, doctors, the city around the stadium. Like if your team sucks and you fuck it up, like business is down. People's lives and jobs are lost. Like shit really goes on. That's the difference between college and the NFL is that's a real situation. That's a real fucking situation.
And look at that city. Look at what they went through in like the span of 3 days. Remember the Seinfeld episode, Even Stevens, where Elaine's life, she's turning into George and everything starts happening good for George. And Seinfeld's like, see, everything evens out for me. That's what Houston just went through. Like, see, we've had this great thing happen. Now our football season's over because they're done, right? They're not recovering from this.
Savage did not look good at football today. Savage did not look good at football. I like Savage, though. It seems as if everybody likes him. Seems like he's very well liked. But boy, man, just watching what Deshaun Watson was doing with that same exact offense, it was very interesting to watch that. That kid is so good at football. Deshaun Watson is the truth. AFC South is fucked. It's good that the Jaguars are getting rolling now because the Texans are about to be a really good team. Jacoby Brissett, also fucking baller.
I know. Is there anybody in Indy that's prepared to say, I'd rather just see a future with this guy, or is it 100% we want Andrew Luck back?
Andrew Luck is such a game changer when he's playing. He won us so many games. So many things happen with Andrew Luck. Bruce Arians said the difference between Luck and all the other quarterbacks that he's ever coached his rookie year was he had what it took to win the games late. That's what Andrew Luck does. He puts you in games that you can't be in. But that's a huge chunk of the salary cap. Huge. And if you look at the teams that win Super Bowls of late, you either have the elite quarterback or you have a rookie contract at quarterback so you can build around a team around it. It's an interesting situation. Right. Ballard didn't draft Luck or re-sign Luck, but the entire Colts organization very much knows that Luck is an incredible football player. And if he can come back, that's what everybody wants.
Is there any Colts fans that are saying, you know what, I don't want to see this guy go back to the bench? I mean, I'm asking sincerely. It seems unlikely, but
I don't know that, honestly. I do not know that because the questions around this whole situation with Luck are very loud in Indianapolis. I mean, because there was no timetable. There was a timetable. There was a sundial. There was expectations. There was throwing. There was practicing. There was speeches. There was press conferences. Then there was a cortisone shot. Then everything stopped and bang, IR. And it was just like, it's been such a weird thing. There's a lot of questions around what the fuck could have possibly happened. Because that same training staff took care of a lot of people and put people through rehabs, a lot of rehabs. So it's an interesting thing to just blame them whenever they're like very much the reason behind Peyton Manning's fucking record for most consecutive games, and like Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis and these guys who played a long time in their rehab. Same exact people. So it's an interesting situation. Very, very interesting situation.
One thing I know out of this is Jacoby Brissett deserves to start somewhere in the NFL. And he won't get the chance. He's still got, I think, 2 deal or whatever. But
well, the Colts are definitely going to look to trade him if he does well this season.
Yeah. Maybe to Denver? Because Brockett man today looked about as bad at times as you can possibly look in the league. And I used to think that their defense is so good they could win with anybody. Yeah, no. Yeah. And then today they got shredded.
51 points to the Eagles.
Yeah. And couldn't stop over. Jay Adai.
The Eagles over was 24 points. What? What? I was like, block of the century here. Are you kidding me? They got another running back? They got another running? Like, what? It was unbelievable.
I think that Denver defense has so much talent still on it, but I think they've just lost the fight. I think they just don't have the will because they know that if anything less than perfect, there's no quarterback that's going to be able to put up 17 points. So why doesn't Elway come back and play? Has he thought about that? I wonder if Elway, that's ever crossed his mind. He's sitting up there in his big luxury box suite, looking out past the stadium at his 100 car dealerships he owns, with $1 bazillion in his back pocket. Does he ever think, you know what? How about one more? This one more for John. You ever think?
Yeah, he definitely does because I guarantee you he's like, I can get the ball out on time. I'll just sit in the gun and just slang it.
What if John Elway just one more? This one's for Pat.
So awesome.
Give him a week, 2 weeks to get ready. Do you think he could play better than the Brockett man did today?
I honestly wonder that. Like, I think
he probably would. He'd have a higher completion percentage.
How about how stupid it is that we are having that conversation? Just for future reference, a 60-year-old John Elway competing against actual real life starters in the team that he runs. It's outrageous.
Right. A guy who's still making, I don't know how many tens of millions from the Houston Texans.
No,
from the Browns. To suck somewhere else.
From the Browns. He's making
from the Browns, that's right.
He's making what, $53 million or something of the Denver Broncos contract from the Cleveland Browns playing for the Denver Broncos. That's an interesting little.
You know what the best thing is though, when people get mad at Brock or a player that gets paid that money, I'm like, what do you think he's going to turn them down when they offer him?
No,
the money?
I'm not worth that. I'm not worth that. No way.
Yeah, no, that's good. No, just give me $6 million.
There's no such thing as overpaid. Everybody is properly priced because if somebody's willing to pay it, that means it's properly paid.
You are worth what someone is willing to pay you.
1,000,000%.
And you know what? We're gone way over our time, but
oh no!
I know. No, we gotta talk about the Cleveland Browns because that is the most dysfunctional family circus imaginable now. Like there's emails going out to reporters from coaches on the staff. Just they're redacting their names, but they're just saying, okay, our front office makes no effort to find out about Jimmy Garoppolo. Hugh Jackson wanted, what was the deal that fell? The A.J. McCarron because he worked with them. the front office goes home at 5 o'clock at night on the trading deadline, there's a thought out there that they didn't mess up not getting that contract into the league. They didn't want to. Like, they're legitimately trying not to help the coaching staff. It's phenomenal. Like, it's to the point where I almost want to be a Browns fan just to see how bad it can be.
So this is like, wow, this is during like the Suck for Luck campaign was happening, where shit was going on that nobody understood, and it was just like you started hearing the outside chants of Suck for Luck happening. You're like, well, fuck that, I'm trying to kick a ball better than I've ever tried to kick a ball in my life. And all the players are like, fuck that, we're trying to like do well, because that's how the players are for real. Because if we suck, we don't get paid. We don't give a fuck about a Luck if he's not in the league yet, because we might not be in the league next year when Luck's in the like, we didn't care about that. But there was some decisions getting made where people are like, the fuck's going on right now, bro? Like, they're legitimately attempting to make this team be worse. Like, and that's what the Browns are saying is happening right now?
Yeah, it's all over the place out there. And it's anonymous league sources are saying, we think they purposely didn't get the contract in on time. And it wasn't a screw up on their point. And the coaches are all saying, we're going to be somewhere next year, so we're going to talk. Like, but again, they're anonymous right now, trying to save their phony baloney jobs.
Anonymous.
But the factory of sadness is working.
It'll all come out,
night
Jerry.
long.
The truth will come out. What's going on? I think they had to know when they brought in Hugh Jackson. So who's the Moneyball guy the Browns have in the front office?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill. They're in the front office for them. So they're sabermetrics guys. And Hugh has been very open that he is not like a sabermetrics numbers dude. Like, he is a football instincts. He can evaluate talent, and he can draw up some amazing plays as an offensive coordinator. So you knew it wasn't going to work out. Hugh's not the guy that's going to go along with it either, too. That's the great thing. I love Hugh. I was with him in Cincinnati, and I think he's a great coach, but there's obviously a huge disconnect between the front office and the whole coaching staff. And I'm sure Hugh, when he's alone with his staff meetings with just the coaches, I'm sure it gets talked about.
These motherfuckers is probably said a lot, if I had to guess.
And if you look at, we've talked about the list of quarterbacks that they've had, and, how Thomas has literally said he's had to introduce himself in huddles to a new quarterback, because he didn't know the guy's name. Well, the list of guys that they've passed on is friggin' amazing. Like, they could have had Deshaun Watson. Didn't. Could have had Carson Wentz. Didn't. Like, they've had the opportunity
superstars, the potential for superstars there. It's just like the Jacksonville Jaguars drafted Brian Anger, who was a really good punter before Russell Wilson. And that became a big deal, obviously, because it's always like, what if? Because whenever you're living with a losing team, all you can think about is, boy, life would be much better if blank, blank, blank happened.
Yeah. And all it takes is to hit on one of those. All it is to just back into a Carson Wentz, who right now, if the season ended today, is probably the unanimous MVP, and they go for whatever, Johnny Manziel.
Who's the Tin Cup fella? Who's the
Roy McAvoy?
No, the Tin Cup guy. Actually, Tin Cup. What's his name?
Oh, Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. Whenever he was running the Browns, they were getting shit done. Do you remember that? He flipped one pick into like three things and then made
good. Matt Damon's old wife was Affleck's old wife was working there too.
Yeah,
right?
It was outrageous what he was able to do, all because of his dad. It's wild. So I don't know why they got rid of him and brought in Brad Pitt and Moneyball, because honestly, I believe they had their best foot forward when Kevin Costner was running the whole fucking ship.
All I remember
Costner's he's in a band, Pat. He's in like some country band. He didn't want to be held down.
All I remember about that movie is they introduced Goodell, and he got a rousing standing ovation from the crowd at Radio City Music Hall.
That ain't never happened, cuz. That ain't ever. Roger Goodell will not be in public places about to receive an applause or a boo without being surrounded by at least 100 very cheerable things. Either police, firemen, little kids, breast cancer survivors. All these people are heroes. So it's classic PR. Surround yourself with that. Always get an applause. Oh, they hate... Ladies and gentlemen at midfield, Roger Goodell. Boo! with breast cancer survivors. Ah, okay, all right.
It's wonderful to be here with
All
these
right.
kids from the Children's Hospital that listen to Pat McAfee swear.
They heard one too. It was a loud one. I'd also told Chuck, like, go tell him I said Andrew's last name loud. You know, like it was a welcome. Tell them that. Chuck, he's like, we're just gonna go down to the other end of the field. This is gonna be rough.
It's like Tiger. Remember when Tiger, like, he tees off? He's not scared.
No,
Throw
he lets it
F-bombs out
eat.
there.
He lets it
Yeah.
eat.
He doesn't care if your kids are there. Like if you're as a parent, if you bring your kids to something like that, it is fully understood that you could hear things you've never heard before.
If you're gonna watch Pat McAfee punt a ball,
yeah,
there's a chance.
there's just so much riding on each punt in this practice.
Oh, dude,
You
I
have
used
to
get
understand Pat's
so
nerves are
mad.
on edge.
Dude, I used to get so mad at me. It was only whenever I was really trying to do well, and that's like if I'm actually trying to do well and I suck, I'm like, fuck, you're the worst, dude. You're the fucking worst. I feel that way now with cornhole. Like if I'm actually trying and the other person scores, boy, it's a rough like at least 20, 30 minutes after that game. I am so embarrassed.
Do you keep it with you? Is that part of the reason? Is that something you like when you finally do go home after all the stuff you do? Does your girl get upset because you're carrying the big cornhole loss on your shoulders?
No,
still?
that doesn't happen, by the way. What I just said doesn't happen. Like, so that's
hypothetically. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, but what I'm saying, I get so mad about it. So I say I'm never feeling this way again. So I'm
So
never.
you play 300 games of cornhole in a row?
Yep, basically. Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. And I just go, just like whenever I lost to Bjorn Werner in ping pong in front of the whole goddamn team at training camp. I was representing the United States of America in ping pong. And Bjorn Werner stormed in and fucking whooped me. 21-7 or something. Because I guess in Germany, all the kids play with their dad. It's like a common thing. He was starting a Germany chant right in my face. So I went home and I ordered this machine that shoots out balls at you and there's a net. It's like a Forrest Gump trainer. And I fucking was up till 4 or 5 a.m. And I'll tell you what, I saw that motherfucker the next day and I haven't lost since. I have not lost since. USA chants roaring through the fucking facility. That's what I'm talking about. But that's
AJ, isn't what they always say about the great athletes, right? That they're all hyper competitive. Like
Yep. Jordan. Hear about Jordan punching people on the golf course, punching Steve Kerr in practice.
Yep. They say Larry Bird, if you were playing cards at a hat across the room and you beat him, that he would be pissed for days.
I feel like I'm a gentleman with it, though. I'm being serious when I say that. I'm like, I just go to work, you know? Like, I'm not letting that happen again. I am not letting this person punk me in front of these people at cornhole, ping pong. I'm not going to let this happen again. So I just go to work. I congratulate them. Good for you. But I'm going to put my head down. I'm going to go to work. And I'm going to let you know, this is not happening again. This moment that I just experienced will not happen again. Because either I'll never play again, or you're never going to score again. It's one or the other. I'm either never going to play again, or you're never going to score again.
You're the self-proclaimed perfectionist. Everybody loves those people. They're so fun to hang out with.
Come play in cornhole, AJ. Just come see me at cornhole, AJ.
So if I win, you're gonna pick the boards up and go home?
No, I'm a gentleman about it. I'm an absolute gentleman about it. But at night, just know that at night when you're sleeping, when you're napping, like I'm throwing bags, and the next morning when you wake up, I might look like I'm a little bit strung out, but I am going to win in cornhole. I've found the stroke, and it's back. Does that make sense?
So, yeah, you're like those guys. I've heard different guys that were great at their sport. They say, I used to get up, and I'd run my sprints at 4:30 in the morning because I knew the competition was still sleeping. And I was like, well, what if they're like on the West Coast time and they're still working out from the night before? Like, how do you work that out?
See, now I'm doing a lot of soul search and listening to you talk, Pat, and I realized that I'm a deeply flawed person because I just never had enough of a give a shit.
See,
I just, if
I can't
lose at
sleep
ping
at
pong
night.
and I go, I lost at ping pong. What are
Oh,
you
but
gonna
listen,
do?
I can lose at ping pong, but if I'm actually trying and I lose, does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense or not.
I get it, and you care about, you like ping pong, you like cornhole. It's about things you like. It's like if somebody wants to play me in some stupid card game that I don't know,
give a fuck.
I could care less if I lose. I'm probably not even gonna play.
And if it's ping pong, like if I'm not trying, I don't care. But if I'm like trying, like if I've had a conversation with me, like, hey, we're going to really try to do well here, and then I lose, it's like, man, you just embarrassed your whole family. Like that's honestly how I feel inside. So I can have a good time and like accept a loss. Like I'm cool if I'm not trying. But if there's like money on the line and I'm actually trying and I lose, I'm like, you're the worst.
Yeah. That embarrasses your whole family
Yep.
much more than freezing hot dogs and keister stacks.
Speaking of, a lot of people have been asking about that on Twitter. You can follow AJ at official AJ Hawk, Jerry Thornton at Jerry Thornton 1. Is that it? Jerry Thornton 1, right?
That's exactly correct.
At Lacey's Out Show and at Pat McAfee Show. If you are looking for information about the hot dog freezing to cure hemorrhoids, you can tweet any of us about it, and we'd gladly answer it.
Are you gonna? Well, you
Absolutely.
gotta post a pic though, Pat, of your recovery.
No, bro. Like that's next level. That's porn. I
also reserve the right to refer all questions to you.
No.
Of the three of us, you are the expert in this topic.
I've never. My father wanted me to try it. Listen, that's on him, not on me. Maybe I learned a lot about my dad through this whole thing. I'm not sure. Maybe he was trying to tell me to fuck myself, and maybe he has used that before. I don't know, but I'm just telling you, I've not tried it yet. But if these things in my butt continue to worsen, I might think about it.
Yeah, so we're going to have a telethon at the end of the month. We're going to raise money for Pat's butthole.
I want the donut seat.
Yep.
I remember my dad sitting on that when I was a kid. I'm like, what's going on, cuz? He's like, don't worry about it. Daddy's going to sit on a little bit of a high chair. I'm like, oh, okay.
So this is a normal thing for the McAfee household?
I don't think so. Because I only remember that donut thing when I was like, I remember it happening.
You guys are all just straining dumps out all day long?
Listen, I think we just have active bladders that don't like shit inside of us. So they get it out.
So it should just naturally, you shouldn't have to push like that. And
listen, the McAfee's organs are intense, cuz, okay? Our heart beats faster and stronger, okay? Our bladder pumps shit out at a rate that your body can't handle, and most bodies can't. So it takes some butthole out with it. And that's just what happens when you're a McAfee. I think it's just me and my dad. I'm not sure everybody else. I don't want to throw everybody else under the boat. But I get a motivational text about these things from my father once a day. You're going to be all right, kid. You're going to be like another week or so.
You tell your dad, though, we're working on that cure. I'm organizing a 10K. I'm going to be wearing brown ribbons. Hashtag Save Pat's Cornhole.
Oh,
like the penis hats. Didn't the women's march? Didn't they wear penis hats?
Yes. Yep. We're going to wear sphincter hats.
No, they had vagina costumes on, didn't they?
Yeah. They had those too.
Yeah. Also on Twitter and Cornhole, or on Instagram, hashtag Match McAfee's Cornhole. I posted a video. It's like a bird call, a give and take. I posted a video of one of my strategies I utilize in Cornhole, and I'm just looking for people to match it, and you could possibly win some free merch. Hashtag Match McAfee's Cornhole.
This is perfect. We're going to do a cornhole tournament to raise money, to raise awareness about the plight of your actual cornhole.
Absolutely. I think that's a good idea. Cornhole for the cornhole.
We're going to have brown starfish hats.
I like that. Maybe a balloon knot in there too.
I see. Now this is why we maybe can't have blocks.
Maybe. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, I cannot be a blocked human. If I wanted to be, I'd go to AM radio. I don't understand. When I got that email, I've never been more confused in my life. Like, has this guy ever heard me talk? Like, NBC put me on Pro Football Talk earlier this year for a week. It was like a trial. And they ask a question, and I did an entire bit about something. It was like a 1.5-minute rant. Then they go to commercial. And then the first commercial break, they're like, you need to stay on one topic. You need to stay on one topic. That is for block 4, or that was for block D, not block 1 that you just said. And I'm like, have you never listened? Like, have you never listened to me talk? Like, this thing could turn into a hemorrhoids conversation at the blink of an eye. And you just need to know that, Pro Football Talk.
See, when I do TV, there's a New England regional sports network that I've been on, and everything is scripted out. Right to how many cameras are going to be on you at a given moment. You're going to talk about this topic
it's all
for
bullshit.
31 seconds, and this next one's going to be for 37 seconds or whatever. And I I don't know if it can apply to this, to our little 3-man weave that we're doing here, this little rocket ship to the moon that we're on.
Now listen, if we did this show more times during the week, right? If we did this show like 2 to 3 times a week, I would understand like maybe a little structure. But once a week, there's so much shit to talk about. There's so many things to talk about. You can't block it in. You can't block that in, Mikey. Hey, fucking Mikey. You seem like a nice guy, but you can't block that in. What are we doing?
I can't wait till you get the email from Mikey. To make sure Mikey CCs me on Pat's email.
Mikey ain't going to email me.
Absolutely.
No, he and Jerry are having private conversations.
Yes, exactly.
You know that.
They don't even have me.
Mikey's like, I don't know. We might have to make a change.
They could have CC'd me on that for sure. Yes, for sure. They could have CC'd us on that for sure. We could have got a CC on there. Like a hey.
No.
I sent it to you.
Hit us 30 minutes before we record.
Boom,
Just
boom.
Hit us out of
block
nowhere.
A, block B, B block, C block, D block, bang, bang,
D
bang.
block. No hemorrhoid talk.
We've
All
been
football.
thinking football, more football.
Name all the segments. We're gonna call this. Yeah.
Challenge
You know what
flag.
it is, Jerry?
Challenge.
I blame it on your challenge flag comment you made weeks ago. He heard that. He's like, oh, he's onto something there. So we're going to have like challenge flags. Then we're going to have like, unnecessary roughness. And we're going to talk about the fights and how it's too much.
Listen, Jerry, I want to let you know, Jerry, I appreciate your brain a lot. I do. I want to let you know that. I just think AJ and I should have got CC'd. I think we should have got CC'd. Now that I understand email a little bit more, I never really understood it before. Now that I understand, CCing help. Yeah, I never emailed people. If you
2017?
If you want to get a hold of me, tweet me.
All right.
Tweet me. I'm on my Twitter. Just tweet me. Don't email.
FaceTime.
Or FaceTime. I'm a big FaceTimer, Jerry. You and I haven't FaceTimed yet, but we're going to have to do that someday. I just think we should have got CC'd, Jerry. If we're making drastic changes to the show, I think we should have been CC'd.
That's between you and Mikey, man.
Wow.
Jerry's
Jerry's passing the buck. He
I
just
don't know.
passed
I
the
kind of feel
buck.
like I think you're kind of acting like, and I'm going to use an expression that should only be used in 1930s black and white movies. You're acting like I'm in cahoots. I don't know what cahoots are, and I've never actually been in them. But I think that's what you're suggesting.
You and Mikey have this bromance you've been doing behind the scenes, and then you put us on an email, or you forward us the email 22 minutes before we hit record.
Yeah.
Cahoots. Or this morning, but
Cahoots.
Okay, if you want to.
Cahoots. That was hilarious. I had no idea where you were headed right there.
We're gonna do our thing. Clearly.
Good thing is we kept it to the time restraints that Mikey wanted, though.
No, we started talking 3 hours ago. 2 hours of this has been show. like we've done exactly none of this.
Guys,
We're rebels,
maybe
man.
next week. No, we're learners. We're learners. We'll learn it this week. We'll practice. And next week, we'll come out swinging in that A block. And then we'll transition into B block without a single mention of the E block. And by the time we get to the C block, the F block is going to be built so deliciously that the G box is where it's going to all come. All we're trying to do is hit that G box. And whenever we get there, the show will be over and it'll be the greatest podcast in history because Jerry and Mikey were working in cahoots to make it all happen.
You know what? No, we're doing none of those things. We're going to do what we do. We make rules and then we break them.
What?
This is a kingdom. The three of us. We do what we goddamn want to do. I'm a rebel, Dottie. I'm a loner.
Listen, I'm a thermostat, not a thermometer. I set the temperature, not tell it. You just enjoy the fucking environment.
All right. Well, this was a blast. It was a blast as always.
You like that one, AJ? That's one of my favorites of all time, by the way.
Not tell it? Is that right? Not tell it?
Yeah, I set the temperature, not tell it. So just enjoy the fucking
I don't
environment.
think it's tell it. I think it's like read the temperature. I don't know. I love it, though, either way.
That was a Rich Rodriguez thing that I thought was one of the best things I've ever heard. I think I was like 18 when I heard that the first time. It was like I was so enlightened. I automatically dialed in every single time Rich Rodriguez started speaking. I'm like, if he's throwing this shit out on day 2, I cannot wait to hear what day 10 is. Like, it was.
Wait, did you play for Rich Rod?
Yeah, buddy, boy, that guy could put some words together in interesting fashions.
How was it? I heard it was brutal for him.
It was some of the most serious shit I've ever been a part of. Those practices were outrageous. The workouts were insane. The words that were said, I mean, I was just tossed. That was my first real football experience. And I'm balls deep in the middle of this most insane shit on earth. And I'm like, okay, here we are. I'm in the middle of all of this. Boy,
But did players respond to that stuff positively? Because
we had no other options.
A lot of guys transferred. I know that.
Nope. We had no
At
other
Michigan,
options.
He had some guys transfer at Michigan when he went to Michigan.
We knew it wasn't going to work at Michigan, though. Because at West Virginia, we were guys who had no other options. The kids at Michigan, they got options. So when you go up there and start speaking to them the way that you were speaking to us, like, this shit ain't going to work up there. Those kids will be like, oh, okay, yeah, we're rich and we have other offers. We'll go elsewhere. See you later. West Virginia kids are like, we can't do shit. That's why Arizona's kind of the same way as West Virginia. That's why I knew he was going to get good. And this Khalil Tate character he's got is very much like Pat White. He might do some magical shit with him in the next couple of years, but Rich Rod could win games, but boy, that motherfucker was wild at practice.
I'm picturing you in a locker room full of other guys whose fallback option is working in a coal mine. All right, just nod your head and act like
we recruited a lot of people from Florida. We had Compton in our locker room. We had Miami in our locker room. We had New York. We had a lot of guys representing a lot of hoods in our locker room, and we got along very well because we all smoked together. So we all got along very, very well. But boy, I learned a lot of shit about a lot of different. I feel like I have friends in a lot of the biggest hoods in America because of college football. So, and I like that a lot. But they were nothing like Michigan kids. Michigan kids just are like they have legit options. Like every one of them can just go fall into Illinois scholarship or a Pitt scholarship or literally anything. Not West Virginia, buddy. You get out of there, either arrested or whatever. You're not going anywhere except probably D2. Something like that. He was wild.
Which is why I'm going to have to take some coaching from Mikey here, because I don't want to end up podcasting on some college station with 3 listeners, you know? I want to take this show to the moon. I want to make it perfect.
Perfect? You want to make our show perfect?
Next week, everything is scripted.
All right, I'll write. How do we want to? Do we want to call each other? Let's FaceTime each other on a Tuesday. We'll write the script for next week. We'll get an A block, a B block, a C block, a D block, and then we'll come out guns a-blazing, and we'll appreciate everybody that listens, and we'll deliver them an NFL show that they ain't never heard before. That'll talk about stats, wins and losses, tackles, motivational speeches.
There's nothing like that out there, so let's do it.
X's and O's. Can we get into some X's and O's? I'm
maybe
get into some good
let's add fantasy football in too.
What?
Yeah. Oh,
no,
yeah, absolutely. I'm in a PPR league.
We don't have enough blogs or blocks to get all of that in there. Philadelphia Eagles, best team on earth right now. Sam Cook had a completed fake punt today, which was a dime on a stop route, I believe it was. And the Philadelphia Eagles are winning people a lot of money. So I would go to mybookie.ag and just go ahead and ride with them fucking Eagles. The city of brotherly love is just tossing out cash right now.
We've gone way over our time allotment, fellas, and it's been a blast. It's been a blast as always. Let's keep doing our thing. We'll work it out. We'll work it out with management, but we apologize for nothing.
Oh,
I came here to teach these boys the game of basketball, which I've done to the best of my ability. I apologize for nothing. Norman Dale, Hoosiers.
Oh, Hoosiers, great movie.
That was Blue Chips. Nick Nolte.
Total Shawshank threat right there. Hoosiers every goddamn time it's on. And by the way, got Shawshanked by Remember the Titans the other day. That thing is full of motivational speeches, which you guys claim to hate. What do you got? I got soul, brother. Like all that stuff that you claim to hate. That movie is chock full.
How about when ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low in the cafeteria the first time? Oh, what a moment! What's that guy's name? Who? Louis who?
Sunshine?
Louis No, Sunshine. Now that's a player there now. That's a player. Let him through, he says. Let him through. Let him through. Gives the old whoopsie-doopsie up over the backski. All I ask for is a little likey, a little share, a little subscribe-y scribe. Gary V posted that in a video this week. I don't know how I feel about it. But
He said that in a video, really?
yeah, he did with a straight face too. He said all he asked for is a little likey like, a little sharey share, a little subscribey scribe. That's my guy. I'm a big fan of him, but that video I'm just not sure about.
Gary V's sometimes he's a little too much to handle.
What do you mean, AJ?
I respect what he does, what he's built, but he's just a little over the top for me at times.
I like Gary Vee a lot, but boy, a lot of those videos are super, super, super emotional, man. They got some background music behind those words sometimes. I'm like, God damn, man, this is like drawing me in. It feels like I'm watching America's Got Talent, like the story behind everything. Like it's drawing me in every single. It's amazing. It's deep stuff. They're working a full operation over there, and all he's asking for just a little likey like, a little sharey share, a little subscribey scribe. That's all we're looking for here.
That's right. Give us all three of those things.
Wouldn't you feel kind of weird? Not only did you film that, but then to post it, I'd be like, I just would feel weird.
They edited it too. They chopped up some parts. They added another part into the middle of it to kind of break up the optics of the video, to give your eyes a break so you continue to watch it. They have all the analytics and sabermetrics behind it. They have an A block, a B block, a C block, and a D block. But boy, it was a deep quote. It was a very deep video. It was a motivating video. And then he said that, and I was just, wait a minute, I said. A likey like, sharey share, subscribey scribe.
Subscribe.
Everyone should likey like and subscribe to official AJ Hawk, at Pat McAfee Show, at Jerry Thornton 1, and at Laces Out Show on Twitter and Instagram. Fellas, another award-winning program that went way long, but I wouldn't change a syllable.
We hit the post. We hit that 90-minute. Right, hit the post, as they say.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, thanks very much. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you all next week.